Welcome to the Entertaining Stupid Podcast, a hobby and excuse for me and my friends to meet up and actually spend some time together. We'll ramble on and test the limits of how much time we can actually be in the same room with each other. Pull up a chair and join us.
Honestly a fucking it's just a good test. Yeah, and it's just a good test though too, right?
It is. To get back into it.
Yeah, to get back into it. It's a good idea.
Because last time I was in school, I was a piece of shit. But that was also when I was like the height of my depression. So I feel like now I'm a lot better off. Because now my dick works again.
Yeah.
What?
Give him the good dick. The Danny dick.
I don't give anybody that.
Quick Dick Dan.
No. Quick Dick Dan doesn't give it to nobody no more.
The slipping in and out.
Nope. Quick Dick Dan don't even have the chance of having a kid no more because I got a vasectomy. No.
Jokes on that.
He shoved his phone.
Actually, I honestly
set on vibrate.
Can't you always just like put it back, like after?
You can reverse vasectomies, yeah.
And you should just do fucking vasectomies.
Because vasectomy is just a
and then you can just fucking cream pie all you want.
Well, yeah, but like at the same time, that's having an invasive surgery.
Yeah.
That's not that invasive. You're so conscious.
So invasive.
Well, the funniest part is like they're like, don't have sex for 2 weeks, and no one can ever handle like not having sex for 2 weeks.
It's like adult circumcision. It's
yeah.
Like, you can't get an erection for like a couple of days, and you're like, that's not gonna happen.
That's not.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Yeah, that day's gonna suck, eh? That day's gonna be brutal. Where it's like, hey, you're not getting up anymore. We're tired. We're done. And you're like, that's weird. You have to put blue pills. These blue pills are what's gonna get you to say, okay, fine, one more time, just for old time's sake.
No, at that point, it's not like, hey, let's do it.
Have you ever thought of that? Like, it's just like, oh man, fuck it, we're too tired. We've done too much.
That's like, gonna take like rhino horns or something like that.
Yeah. No. I would go into the.
Dan's like, I've lost 2 years of this already. I need it back.
I'll go to the black market. Say, okay, I'll say
Tigradon.
I'll say, Mr. Lucky, I need your help. I need you to help me to feel again. My missus hasn't been wanting my zucchini anytime soon.
Well, probably by the time we're like 80 years old, there'll be like, we'll be half cyborgs and stuff like that. You'd be like, sir, what would you like? Would you like a new heart? Would you like this? No, I just like my penis to work again.
Yeah. Give me an enhancement, doc. I want to be a bionic man.
Have you ever heard of the BBC before, doc? That's what I'm looking to get.
That would just look fucking freaky.
But it's white, though. It's white.
But it's not BBC then.
No, it's
BWC.
Yeah, BWC.
BWC.
Big white cock.
I heard BBWC. I was like, what? Why is there?
No, there's not two B's in there. What are you thinking about?
Hey, it could be a zebra dick,
big
man.
Bodied, big no.
BAC is big Asian dick.
No, big. That doesn't.
That also counts for East Indian people.
It doesn't exist because stereotypes.
Because they're miniature dudes. Have you ever seen that in Deuce Bigalow?
Yeah.
Where the European Gigolo, where like they're all like taking out their, like their enhancers to make their dick size look bigger, and then the Asian guy brings a little tiny Tootsie Roll. He's like, ah!
That's what he said.
Oh, that was good.
Okay, well, let us know when you want to start.
Well, okay, just give me a second here.
Oh yeah, I guess no rush too. But
it's one of those rings where I'm losing some kind of sound or something because you hear that.
I always hate that.
You're like, oh, I'm getting old.
Yeah, it's a reminder of how I'm slowly losing my hearing. Mm-hmm. Which, to be fair,
it's at least we have hearing.
True. Given our infatuation with loud music and headphones, probably not for long.
Yeah, I don't even. I just listen to podcasts now.
Huh? That's what bionic ears are for, right?
Yeah, I guess so. We'll get that.
You're a strange animal. Man, E3 this year sucked.
Yeah,
there was fuck all for games.
Technically,
because it's all next gen though. They're all waiting for the next gen.
And I respect PS.
Well, that's
Sony wasn't even there.
I give them full credit. It's like, why would we?
Someone, I think it was like Engadget or something like that, did a poll on the best.
Who won E3?
Who won E3?
And PlayStation.
Sony placed third without even being.
Yeah. No, dude. Honestly, like if PlayStation just played because they're like, we don't have anything new. We're working on the stuff that we showed you guys. So we're not. What's the point of just re-showing it, right? So we're gonna keep on developing it so that hopefully at PlayStation Experience we have some new stuff to show you, and that's just hilarious because everyone had an opportunity to be like, okay, we can dethrone PlayStation's exclusives. Xbox is, yes, finally, and they had fucking shit for games.
Well, no, it was more about their software.
Third party, yeah, and their third party. Like Cyberpunk. They showed the Cyberpunk.
Yeah, with Keanu.
Trailer.
Everyone loves Keanu Reeves, but for good reason though.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves-
You are beautiful.
You're
Like,
breathtaking.
He's amazing. He's a
I've
great human
seen-
being, man.
I've seen too many like public videos of him to know that he is.
What
honestly-
a life he's had, hey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
No-
reading that one post. Where
Did
it's
you
like-
read about his family?
Yeah.
Yeah,
bunch of
like-
shit.
Yeah,
was
so they had a
born, what,
stillborn. They had a stillborn, and then like 2 weeks later, like his
got
wife,
divorced.
no, or his fiance or whatever, broke up with him because she couldn't, like, she was too tragic for her, and then she got like rolled over in a car crash
An
and died
accident,
like the next week.
He dropped out of school because he
Yeah.
was dyslexic. His
Talk about fucking
his father
adversity.
left him when he was like 4 years old or something like that.
Christ.
His mom had to move to Canada to become just to work as a maid and send him through school and stuff like that.
Is he born in Canada?
No, he's born in Lebanon or something.
Oh yeah,
like
that's
that.
right. Yeah, that's right. But he's Canadian.
He
We
considers
love you.
himself Canadian.
We love
yeah.
you, Keanu.
I'm so happy the fact that he considers himself Canadian.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
That's probably the best part for sure.
Early born in Beirut.
Yeah. Oh, Beirut.
Yeah, he's born in Beirut. His mother is English and his dad is from Hawaii.
Huh. What the hell are they doing in Beirut?
Why do you have two sets of keys?
One's a van key, one's a key for my car.
This is Van.
Yeah.
Because it says Dodge.
And that's definitely going to be in the podcast now.
No, it's not. He didn't start it.
Yeah.
Oh,
just
okay.
give me a-
Because once he does the intro, that's when we're starting.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know when you're
Just
starting.
Give me a couple of seconds of silence.
I think you got to get closer to your mic, Dan.
I am. That's why.
fine.
That's why
Oh,
I've been
okay.
sitting here because we haven't been.
Okay.
I'll wait until we start and then I'll go close.
This is actually a pretty cool customizable thing.
I request no sappy ass.
What is that?
If you listen to the end of the other podcast,
Oh, okay.
You'll get it.
You'll hear it.
Oh, I like how that turned out though. Good job on that, by the way.
Thanks. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Entertaining Stupid Podcast. You have me, Jason, and with me today is
Your host with the most, Maddie B, but I'm not actually a host.
Sorry, that just really took me off. Sorry, Dan.
Okay, well, it's the three of us today because apparently we're dropping like fucking flies. Both Ray and Sil are out of town because they're adults now, I guess. Too cool to hang out with us.
Yeah, they have responsibilities like jobs. that
Yeah, they've never heard of
travel.
student loans, apparently.
Yeah.
Get them through.
I mean, Ray went, 4 years at university to go drive chips around?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But he's getting paid, like, good money to drive there, so.
I'm about to say, like for me, I'm going back to school, but I'm just happy with a job that pays me decent money while I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because all Dan wants is just to be, part of society and just to make the bare minimum, right?
I would like to have my own place, mainly for an animal because I want one because I need a cat or a
Yeah.
dog. Nothing like a fish or lizard because I can't show them love.
What you
What-
sh-
what if-
no
what-
yeah
what
you
about, like,
probably
a ferret?
what is better to get though I guess you want the cat first because then the dog gets accustomed to the cat
Well, no,
after, right? Because it's like, oh, I've never known anything but the cat. But if you get the dog first and then you get the cat, you'd be like, the dog would be like, what the fuck's this?
no. Well, I probably wouldn't get both at the same time. to be
No,
honest.
no. I'm saying like if you had to start out with each one or the other, right?
Oh, I thought you meant for them getting along with each other.
Well, yeah, well that too, right? Because
That's what I'm saying. Like I would only have one
At a
probably I'd have
time.
cat first.
oh, and then you let it die and then get a dog.
Not like. Don't just put it. Just let it die. Like no, I'm not gonna buy a cat. Go. You know what? I'm
Oh, you know what? No.
Put it
No, I
outside
mean
and
like
just
20
lay it.
years. I mean like 20 years.
Like yeah, okay.
Yeah, like dies of old age, obviously.
Okay.
Come
just
on,
like
I'm not
that's
I'm
great
not
way to
that
put my
big of a
cat's life.
jackass.
Honestly, like when my cat comes and she lives forever because we've discovered immortality at that
For
point.
animals.
No, it's a virtual cat.
Hey, it's immortality
Hey,
for animals.
As long as I keep putting the batteries in, it will keep, and I keep feeding it, it'll keep living.
Okay.
That's called a Tamagotchi, Daniel.
No, yeah, because I've kept it alive all these years now.
Or a what the hell are those pets called? That pet website, the virtual
like,
pets.
Like a Neopet? Or like
Neopets, yeah,
Webkins?
that's a Neopet,
That's
Dan.
a Neopet.
But you don't need batteries. But you gotta make sure you feed it.
I'd probably forget though. To be
Do you remember
honest with
those robot dogs that they used to have. I can't remember the name of them.
Those robot dogs. They would have like little like
Yeah, and
plastic bone with them.
and their ears flapped and all that.
It was kind of like
They had a cat one too.
Yeah, they had a kitty cat version, and I always thought they were weird, but that's just maybe because I had like Furbies instead.
See, I never got a Furby. I always wanted one too. I never got one.
Furby, I've gotten quite a few, and I enjoyed the one because it sang the Great Canadian Hockey Game, and it had a hockey stick, and it just kept singing that. And then I saw the movie Gremlins.
I was to say it looks like a gremlin.
And then I got terrified of it, and I never wanted it in my room again.
I remember I popped one in a microwave and I turned it on, just watched it melt.
Oh my god!
It's terrible.
It actually looks like a gremlin though.
It does.
Yeah, it looks similar.
Gizmo.
Orbo. It looks like Orbo.
Gizmo looks.
Or Gizmo. Sorry, Gizmo.
Gizmo actually has like functioning arms and legs and stuff like that.
Yeah, not like
he looks like if you stuffed the Furby on top of a body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, something funny happened to me this week. Like we talked about last week, Dan. I had some spicy ass chicken wings and didn't wash my hands again, or I thought I washed my hands, didn't wash them good enough, and I rubbed my junk because it was a little bit itchy, and boy, I never learned from that.
No. Honestly, at this point, I'm okay with it because that's just Darwinism. If it's like, if you're not going to learn now,
Jesus
you're never
Christ.
going to learn.
I was like, I was sitting there again.
Jesus Christ.
Honestly, good thing you didn't rub one off, man.
It was an hour. It was just the balls this time, which is
that would be
nice.
a spicy pee-pee.
But again, a glass full of milk and just sitting there with like teabagging this glass of milk.
Oh my god! I hope you destroyed that carton of milk or whatever, and like used one of Elon Musk's flamethrowers just to dispose of it. Whatever.
It's not a flamethrower.
It's not a flamethrower.
I know it's not, but it's one of those cool things.
You can't call it a flamethrower because that's what it says.
It's cool though.
It is cool. He's just a cool guy though because he's Elon Musk and he can do what he wants. Like run. How many companies do you have?
An hour and a half. It literally how spicy were these wings that it would cause your skin to be irritated?
These were like ghost pepper wings, man.
Oh my god.
So why do you punish? Like I punish myself with hot stuff.
So why were you naked that you'd be rubbing your hand on?
No, I just got itchy.
So you went
like I
in
stuck my
pants.
hands.
You put your hand
I don't
in
put them
pan.
in the pants.
I just do over. Yeah, I do over pants too. This is a rookie
What are you,
move,
the
man.
goddamn heathen?
Yeah. What do you do? Just do that and sniff it after? What's going on?
Yeah, get out of here. Can't trust a man like that. Can't trust him to look after your kids. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, sure.
I can't trust me either, to be honest.
Well, that's pretty brutal though. That does suck. Sometimes I have done that. Accidentally rubbed my eye once when I was eating spicy chicken wings. That one's painful.
Yeah,
That's a regret.
Yeah, I could see that. I've only ever eaten the hottest stuff by either mistake or on purpose just to show the people who I was ordering it from that I was tough. And all the times I do it, I regret it. And it's always, because I'll get it for supper. It's always a supper thing. I'll get spicy food.
Yeah, chili.
And then it'll be 9, 10 o'clock. And I would say, actually, no. Between 9 and 1 is danger zone. That's danger zone. That's when the real
the
demons
gut?
come out.
The gut? Yeah.
The gut snakes come out, and your body, the temple, the people start running out saying sacrilege. There's been sacrilege afoot. We must rebel. We cannot pray to this God.
Well, obviously, I think it must be super common for people that eat really spicy food to be feeling super bloated after because you're trying to stuff yourself to like cover the heat at some point.
Oh yeah, because
you're like, oh, I gotta chug the milk or this or that.
I can handle it, like the seething.
There's some people though that like.
I get some people, yeah, like they down.
Or when you expect it to be like sometimes you're expecting it to be less of a spice. Like you think it's still spicy, but not super, super mega hot spicy. And then when you go in and you have the mega hot one, you're like, why did I order this?
Yeah, why did I order?
And then you do like 7 wings and you're like, my gut is killing me. I need 5 beers and you're chugging the beers. I'm like, this isn't helping. Can I get some milk? And then you're like, oh my God, I'm going to puke. I'm just going to puke. But you don't end up puking. It's even worse when you don't.
Yeah, and then the next morning. Woo.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. You know what? Woo! I don't think we have on recorded file your chili story. I think your story does.
That is something you have to tell
To
everyone.
be fair though, I feel like I want everyone here.
You want everyone here? Okay,
That's
we'll
all
hold
I
off
want
on
the
it.
group for because I want their.
We'll hold it off, man. You guys are in for it.
Do you have any other
show.
spicy stories though besides the chili one?
I mean, he's got what the butter chicken.
Do you have any butter chicken stories? They're not as good. The chili one's the best.
The chili's the bar. The chili's the bar there.
Yeah.
We'll wait until next time.
Wait. No. Okay, so This is a trial one anyway, so you can say the story and then it won't go out to the public. I just want to see. I want to hear you say it again.
What?
We'll hold off. We'll hold off.
Oh, come on.
We'll hold off
You
on
gotta do
it. We'll do it another time. I mean, it's a good story, and I understand
just
having
give
the
us
boys
the-
around because, like,
just-
man, it breaks us down every single time.
Okay, just don't say the one part, but just say the starting part. Give a little thing,
Give 'em a little taste.
Me putting me making the chili, me eating the chili,
and then the waking up. That's
And
all
the
I want to
waking
hear.
up? Okay.
Yeah. We won't say the rest.
Okay, so in essence, me and I moved out from my parents' place, and my idea is I'm gonna become an adult. Only took me till 27. I'm very impressed with myself. Now, I was I want to move out, want to get myself started, so I got my own little basement suite, and every once in a while, my mom invites me over and shows me a recipe and something and a way to cook. So she invited me over, and she said, "Here, we're gonna make chili." So we made chili, and I was really proud of it because I'm like, "Hey, this is fucking awesome! I can make chili." And I'm like, I love chili. So I'll take it home, and then I ate it, and I'm like, hey, the next week, I'm like, I'm going to make chili again, right? I'm going to do it myself this time because I learned. I learned from my mom. And then I went, and I bought all the right ingredients, and I went home, and I had the printed off sheet of the recipe, and I went, and I started putting everything in, and lo and behold, there was a mistake to be had. Now what happened is I went to go and to put in the cayenne pepper. And you have to understand that the cayenne pepper was only supposed to be about if I'm going off record on what the recipe said, something like 2 tablespoons was the max. And the container I had was something like 600 grams. So it's a lot of cayenne pepper. And what ended up happening is when I went to go pour it in, I was gonna put it into the cup, but instead of the cup, I put the cup over where where it was. I went to pour it in, and it poured in half the bottle. Now at this point, you could argue that I could have scooped it out of the chili, but I decided I'm like, you know what? I like spice. I'm a spicy guy. I like spice in my chili.
Spicy Daniel, that's your
I'm
nickname.
Spicy Dan, and my last one was pretty mild. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I made it, and keep in mind, I bought enough beef, and I had enough chili and stock and everything to feed at least a family of 8 to 10. At least. And I ate all of it. I ate every single goddamn bite of it because it was super, super spicy. But I'm like, you know what? It's really good. I'm like, it hurts going down a bit, I'll admit, but it's really good. And so what ends up happening is I go and I'm gaming a little bit, and I'm just farting a hole in my chair. I'm just going through my chair.
A hole in your shorts, eh?
Yeah, and honestly, and at this point, I'm pretty sure that chair is 100% composed of just farts. That's the only thing that's keeping it up. Now, I went from there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling satisfied. I'm gonna go to bed, and it's gonna be a good one. And I go to sleep, and what ends up happening when I go to sleep is I don't remember going to sleep. I just remember waking up, and when I woke up, it was the most startling thing in the whole goddamn world because I woke up to the loudest noise possible, and I just woke up thinking someone has broken into my place. They're coming to kill me. And it's not that. I had woken. I realized after I smelled the air that I woken myself up with a fart. And it was not just the start. That was just the start of what was to come. What was to come was truly the real torment and the real trial I had to go through. But yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I mean, you've told us that story 6, 7 times, and it's still it cracks us up every single time. We're not even through the entirety of this goddamn story this time.
We will continue it next time when we have more people. But in essence, yeah.
Oh my god, the hole in the shorts. Woo.
I remember sitting down specifically and just farting like nothing else. Yeah, it was fuck.
I get real gassy with dairy products. That's probably the worst.
So you're probably lactose then, aren't you?
Yeah.
I was gonna say the alternative, I find spice can give you almost a sense of feeling high because you feel all jacked up because you're oh, my blood's super warm, I'm just your whole body's just heating up, right? You're I'm getting jacked.
Yes.
Just like caffeine. It feels when you get a caffeine rush, man. You just feel you can do anything.
Do you guys do pre-workout?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, I remember one time going.
It gets you like, it depends what you have, because some of them have like what's called beta alanine in it, and makes your like, it gives you like the itch and stuff like that. So there's different types. Some are just pure caffeine, some are not. So
Okay. I remember going to work out with Kevin. He gave me some pre-workout, and then he handed me a handful of black pills. He's like, I don't know what these are, but the guy at the supplement store just gave them to me for free. You want to have one? I'm like, sure.
So he gave you a caffeine pill, didn't he?
I have no clue. Probably a caffeine.
Oh, yeah.
pill. I have no
Yeah.
clue what it is. And then we went and just did our workout, and yeah, it was just Kevin handed me a handful of black pills. I'm like,
Well,
I trust Kevin.
so
enough.
yeah, so that happened like when I went and bought pre-workout one time.
I trust it.
Like this guy supplement guy's like, hey, do you want free vitamins? Or you should get these vitamins with him. Like, oh, you know what? This guy knows what he's talking about. Sure. He's like, don't worry, man. If your pee's green for the first 5 days, don't worry, it's normal because there's so much vitamin C, right, or whatever. I'm like, okay, yeah. And then after like a couple days, I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to keep pissing green. I'm like, I am not. Like, and I'm like, I was super hydrated. I was drinking 4 liters a day. Like, he's like, yeah, you might dehydrate you, but I'm like, then why the fuck am I taking this if it dehydrates me?
Yeah.
Like,
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
trying to sell me GNC.
I'm about to say, especially green. That's a weird color. I've heard of.
I mean,
Well, it's because it's like, I think it's vitamin B or D. Like one of those two gives you like a color. Yeah.
it's like he, ate a bunch of asparagus or something.
Well, I guess like
No,
if
but
you're like
asparagus is,
super
I think it's, like, mainly smell,
uber,
isn't it?
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
you're
it
like
is.
uber dehydrated, you can like just piss blood. I think, or some kind of color that looks like blood.
I could see that.
Yeah,
it's
it's like
like
a deep yellow.
Yeah, it's like a deep yellow red.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
orange.
the deeper you get, but there's also a sign.
It's
like,
a
you
super,
have to be
it's super
super
dehydration.
But
Yeah.
if you ever see blood in the actual urine itself, that means you have serious kidney issues.
Yeah.
Which means that that can
Well,
also help
I
in
think so.
severe
Oh, that was
dehydration.
on Joe Rogan. He said like he was super dehydrated and he thought he pissed blood and he was freaking out. So he
Yeah.
went to the doctor and he's like, "No, you're just mega dehydrated."
Yeah, because your kidneys will essentially like once you.
Yep.
You know what? I'm not. I'm gonna stop myself.
Yeah, we're not a
before-
doctor here.
Before I
Yeah.
speak into something that I really don't know enough about.
Yeah,
Um,
it's crazy though.
But yeah, like I just remember the kidneys are super sensitive, and then whenever you are super dehydrated is when they, because then essentially I remember once you're dehydrated, it just makes your blood everything more viscous.
Yeah.
And the kidneys are working like overtime trying to.
Yeah, it's because your body draws like moisture,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the available
It's
water out of your
it's
body.
the worst. So like anything can technically kill you. So like anything, you're like, oh, a freckle on your body, is that a mole? Is this mole growing? What is this? What's going on? Oh my god, these things are attached. I'm fucking dead. I have skin cancer.
What
or
was it?
whatever.
I can't get skin cancer
How
it's
come?
because he's
because
pale
I
as
don't see
fuck.
the sun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there you go.
He's a White Walker.
Yeah, but they were childhood. They were your childhood decisions that weren't made for you. Your parents were like, you have to go outside, and you got sunburnt then.
Now and at the
Yeah.
moment, I went.
Now
up
you're
until-
protecting
up
yourself.
Until now, I have not gotten anything skin related, and since the one guy way back when at Planet Fitness told me I need to see the sun once in a while after I got out of the shower.
You're like, fuck you, man.
I did think that I said I'm like, you're not wrong, but you are a jerk. For
Excuse
everyone
me,
listening,
sir.
I am. I would say
Every
the best thing to
day,
describe myself-
sir, at 1:00, I go get my afternoon beverages at the liquor board store. It may include a 12 to 24 pack, but that's where I get my sunlight, sir.
Oh, that's. Oh, I was
I'm just pretending to be you. I'm just pretending to be you. I'm like, I don't actually do that.
I was confused as hell too. I was like,
sorry,
what the fuck is going on?
What the hell?
I'm just pretending you're an alcoholic.
Oh, yeah, no. But no.
Would you describe your skin as like eggshell white or like off white?
Eggshell. Mainly for the fact that like if honest to goodness when I'm like out and about, especially at like gym or somewhere where I have anything more than just like just arms and then even a little bit of leg showing, like I'm worried about ivory hunters.
Yeah,
I really am.
you're definitely the opposite of Snooki, for sure.
Oh no, like
Yeah.
I would say actually if anything,
Definitely
I'm like the
opposite.
opposite of Wesley Snipes. That would be more accurate because like if you're really gonna look at it, like that's why I feel like especially in video games I have a predisposition to play people with darker skin tones because I want to have something that I'll never have. I will never have a skin tone that won't blend into snow.
I mean, like people get like their scalps tattooed with like fake hair. Like, could we
Yeah.
just not like spray tan like a tattoo like?
Spray if it was a
Like a
tattoo,
permanent-
it would
yeah,
look
spray tan, yeah.
terrifying.
I mean, like a
Well,
permanent.
there's
It would look
tan.
terrifying if
there's
it was
like
a
girls
tattoo.
that like get their eyebrows tattooed, right?
That's a little different.
That's
though.
different.
I'm,
That's
I'm just
like-
I'm just trying to
Isn't that
get
crazy,
like a
though?
bronzer
That's a girl-
shade
I-
on
that's a
you or
pain in the ass.
something.
I know a girl that does. Actually, I'll admit hers actually looks really good. You
Yeah,
wouldn't
it's a
know.
pain in the ass though. It's
I
because they
think-
have
I think
such thin
one of the
eyebrows
girls,
they
yeah.
get darkened,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
One of-
then
one of the
they
girls
get
at
a
work did
tattoo,
that
then
too.
They never have to worry about it.
No, they have to go back like every like
No,
year.
not a tattoo.
Not tattoo.
Tattoo is fine. I know girls that get like their eyebrows like dark and like dyed and darkened.
Yeah, when you die,
Those
you
ones
do
you,
that.
you have to go and get.
Oh, I thought like
done up.
no, but I thought they have to go get touch-ups. They do have to go get touch-ups.
They
No.
It doesn't
you know what-
last very long, dude. Like those things don't last long.
what Em told me is when she got it, she's like, she got it done, and then she was like, I have to go back like a week from now just to do some touch-ups, just because like
Yeah.
the skin heals and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? Just fix it up and stuff like that. But then other than that, she doesn't have to.
Oh, there's other people that I think they went like every 2 years, but that's because it eventually fades because it's not.
Because I mean, it's like a
Yeah.
it's like a tattoo, right? I mean,
Well, your tattoos, like if you don't take care of them, so like if you're not putting lotion on them and stuff like that, like if you do lotion and all that and keep it hydrated, the skin is healing because you're not peeling it, right? Because it
Yeah.
doesn't get dry, so it doesn't get the layers don't get peeled as
Yeah.
as quickly. So if you're taking care of your tattoos, then that's fine. But
So
if,
then, yeah,
you're,
just-
if
you
you're not
can
putting
moisturize
lotion or
your
anything
face.
like that or moisturizing, then it's gonna get fucked. So
Yeah, but like for someone like myself, okay, out of curiosity though, when it comes to tattoos and moisturize, because you know, Matt, When it-
I'm probably the only one here that has tattoos, right?
yeah.
Okay.
because
yeah.
like I'm not a sin in the eyes of the Lord.
Actually, that was funny. A priest one time was like looking right at me and it said, "And these silly things that are tattoos." I'm like, "You bastard!"
yeah, I see.
Like, what does that have to do with anything? It doesn't mean anything. I just
Yeah.
like tattoos.
Technically, your body's a temple, Matthew, and yours has graffiti on it.
Yeah, it does now.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, me and Jason have pure temples. People would
Yeah.
love
Like
to
I
worship
said,
here.
man, the pain doesn't hurt. It's the pain of your wallet that hurts
Yeah.
after you get tattoos.
Also, I'm 100% kidding. I want to get one.
Quality though, you gotta pay for quality.
Oh, yeah,
it's never
definitely.
I
worth.
like black and white though too. I don't know. If I
Yeah,
like color.
no, it's yeah,
like
it's
maybe
for,
some like shading or something like that, like with grays and stuff like that. But like, yeah,
I
Well,
think
I'm
you,
just
I
so
think
pale
you
too,
can
I
have
feel
like
like
a you
colors
can have
would
like a
make me
black
look
and
like-
white, and that's fine. But like, and you can add like a little bit of color. Like say you had like a wolf or something. You can add like blue eyes or something like that. Like that's cool.
Very very minimal.
Yeah, but minimal. Yeah, in my opinion.
it's not
I
like
think-
you're getting the communist flag tattooed on your back.
No, but here, but
No.
back to my original point with it. So with
Mhm.
moisturizer, when it comes to tattoos, for myself, I don't know what it is about me. I'm not sure if I'm not necessarily
You
oily,
hate moisturizing.
but
is
I've
what you're
never,
saying.
I've had to like I've had some eczema where I've had to
Mhm.
use lotion on that. But if I'm normally like a pretty okay person, would I have to still lotion it?
This
Yeah.
is what I tell everyone. I have had tattoos about 7 years now. Like the Hercules one, I think I got done in 2012
Yeah.
on my shoulder, and then after that, I think I got everything in 2014, 2015. So everything is aged, and I've never ever had a touch up yet. But I mean, I know it's starting to get to that point where I'm gonna need to get it touched up, but I don't notice it enough. Like it's not fading enough. Like because I'm just taking really good care of it. Part of it is too I get dry skin quickly, so I just moisturize my arm because I get pissed. Like that's why I always wear long sleeve shirts. It's not because I don't like show my tattoo off. It's because I don't want to get it cut up and shit like that. Like yeah, like cardboard and shit like that.
Stretch marks.
I hate it, man. So like when I'm working with cardboard all day, it can cut your arms
Yeah.
up pretty good. So that's why I always wear a long sleeve shirt.
Oh, it's
So-
I mean, it's money that you.
Well, I paid $5,000. Like, if anything is gonna happen
It's
to
an
my left
investment.
arm. Fuck the
It's an
other. Like,
investment.
yeah, keep this arm fine, but like this thing can get
Matt,
it.
you should go to work and just have like one of those athletic sleeves.
Yeah.
You toss one of those guys on.
Oh,
This light's a little bit too bright.
those
for my skin, I think.
dingleberries.
But I mean, like I don't use a lot of moisturizer. I think the only really bad places are my shins.
Yeah, mine.
Oh
Actually,
yeah,
mine's are calves.
knees and stuff. Yeah.
Calves.
I don't know.
Mainly
the
because
girls-
calves, because of sports, because hockey and soccer, when you have shin guards,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you have the socks on and you sweat.
I
That's
get
when
it.
you
I actually used to get it in the elbows, so that's why I always just make sure to moisturize it.
Get
So,
the old crusty elbows.
yeah.
I don't got crusty. I got.
Oh, there's some people I know have get like the crusty dry eyes.
Oh, and then also.
Oh, I know someone who has crusty ears.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What the hell is your
Oh.
ear secreting?
I don't know, man. It was bad.
No.
It was that was like major eczema. That was like
but
really
it's
bad
eczema.
eczema.
It's just
Yeah.
it's based on the fact that too, like eyes, ears, and like a lot of other places like that, especially where cartilage is, you get a lot like you can get the thin skin,
Yeah.
and that's the ones that like eczema really gets. It can be a bugger.
Oh, that's
I
Oh,
never-
I've had it before.
I used to hate- I used
usually
to
have it
hate-
during winter.
Yeah, I used to hate lotion. I put it on religiously now, just because, like, I sometimes get a little bit on my face or something like that. So just like every day, just do it so that you don't have to worry about dry skin. And it hurts, man. It's painful. Some of it's itchy too. Like it's just irritating. Like It's a pain in the ass. So.
I don't moisturize a whole lot or use
Yeah,
lotion.
I haven't used lotion, not for, unless I have like.
It's the only. That's the only
specific
shitty part about the routine in the morning is like because it takes like 3 minutes because you got to do all the arms
Yeah.
and the face.
Yeah, he lubes up.
I don't
I've seen it before.
I don't do any of that. The girls were at work like, yeah, just we do it. I use it all the time, just everywhere. And I'm like, I don't need that thought in my head.
I used to hate it. I used to even have lotion because I used to have cracked hands from the winter. It was so dry, and I used to hate putting lotion on my hands. I still don't really like it. Like
Yeah.
just my hands, I don't like it in my hands.
Because I can even tell you got a cut on your one hand.
Yep, sliced her up good, but that's not a dry one. That's
Yeah,
just a
these
slice.
are the real working man's hands.
Pale ass, non-blistered.
My
They-
hands
they're-
are.
If you imagine like buying like a new TV or like
Wait,
a
wait,
new
wait.
laptop
Can I
or
see
something
your
like
hand
that,
there?
they still have the fucking like the plastic wrap
That's
still
like
on
a
them.
penis groove in your hand there, man. That's way bigger than yours. So it's
No,
gotta be for
what are you-
someone else.
what are you
That's
trying-
why they're so soft all the time,
They're
right?
not soft. Look how rough they
Hey.
are. They're like sandpaper.
Hey.
Matt, feel my hands. They're so soft.
He's
They're
got it.
super soft. They're so moist.
I know.
They're so lubricated.
No, they're not. I've never used lotion.
You never use the lotion, but
I
you
never use
consume
it,
so
and I-
much fat, like your butters, man.
Yeah.
That translates into your hands,
It's
right?
because it's because I choose only to sleep in butter and the finest butter because I am a
you-
smooth boy.
You butter yourself up, wrap yourself in like plastic wrap,
Yeah.
and just hop into bed.
Yeah, I do. And then I eat butter because it's good for you because it lubricates your veins.
Yeah. You down a whole stick of butter before you eat anything, just so it slides through you real quick,
Yeah, I
right?
do. It's for digestion.
Yeah, it helps. From what I hear, it helps you lose the pounds
Yeah.
real quick, right?
And my doctor was telling me a whole bunch of bullshit, but I'm like, you know what? You spent 8 years studying this body. I'm like, I've been in this body for 24. I know more than you.
What do you mean? He's 27.
No, at the time.
Oh, at the time,
And
okay.
I started. I've been eating butter since 24. Okay, guys, I've been a butter man for that many years, and you know what? It's only done. It's only made me happier. I only get really tired a lot, and every once in a while, when I have too much sugar, I go to bed.
You kind of crash
And
somehow.
the moment he gets up from bed, he's just mouth breathing constantly.
Yeah. And then like I have some breathing problems, and yes, if I go more than one stair, it hurts me, especially my ankles. Don't judge me.
I don't know what's worse, the fact your lifestyle there, or like someone like Ray who downs like what 2 liters of Coke every day or something like that.
Oh, it's eventually gonna hit him, man.
Well, it
Definitely.
already has though.
Like,
Yeah, he's got gout.
oh shit. I don't know. Yeah.
An old man's disease at the age of 26. like
I don't know. Stepdad has gout. And he's like 60.
I know. I'm thinking here, like, what the hell's next for him? Like arthritis, early onset Alzheimer's, like.
Nah,
Well, I know. Like I noticed like before. Well, it helped when I was in better shape too, so you have better metabolism. But I notice if I drink beers now, like if I have like 4 or 5, like my face feels swollen the next day,
yeah.
just from like the beer. Like it feels like it's just like swollen, and then it goes back down like when I hydrate again. But it's just like what the hell?
Are we old now?
Yeah, it's embarrassing. I feel so.
I don't, no, we're not old.
No,
We're
no,
old,
like
but
actually we're super like in our prime right now.
define prime. It's like if I'm gonna say mentally,
No,
No.
not mental. Well, see, you're starting your
Everyone-
prime because you're
yeah.
mentally over your hurdles and you've kind of understand what kind of life is about now. Or
Everyone
there's
says,
all
like-
these challenges and you know the ups and downs, you know the peaks and valleys, because everything up to like 18, 19, 20 is pretty much all uphill. Like for the if you're from like if you live in a first world country, you know you have a moderate income family, you know, and you can do stuff and you have the opportunities like you do like in a first world country. Like everything is pretty much up. Like there's not much adversity. There's some adversity along the way, but not very major ones. Like nothing that is life altering or decision making. And then after that, it's like, hey man, you gotta figure out what you want to do now. And then you're like, oh well, okay. And then you do that. And you might not like school. You like school, and school's awesome. So that's another uphill. And then as soon as it's like, okay, you're done. Now go and work. And you're like, what the fuck's this?
yeah, you're like. how
And
do I
then you're
let
like,
go?
I don't know if I like this. Like, did I waste everything? Because you're now overthinking everything. And then you go peaks, valleys, peaks, valleys, peaks, valleys. So now you're just trying to honestly be like flatlined where you can expect the goods, and then with the bads you can deal with the bads. So I think that's where I essentially think you're in your prime. There's a lot more challenges. There's still more adversity coming for everyone in life situations, but I think for the most part, you kind of discovered I can get through anything or this or that, right? So.
I get that, but that's true though. You built up resilience.
Yeah, you've built up a lot of resilience, and you've had a lot of adversity, and you've overcome it. Even if it's the littlest things, like, or those experiences that you've never experienced before, now you feel comfortable with that stuff, right? Like, so you were uncomfortable in a situation, but you went through with it anyway. Now you're like, it's not so bad, or stuff like that. So you become more comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Now, out of curiosity, this is actually going to lead into a question I have.
Sure.
Now, when it comes, and just for, once again, I think we already discussed this, but if for the one person listening, just to let you know, Matt does have a tattoo. No one else in our group does. No one.
Yeah.
So we're all very much so not mistakes in our parents' eyes, which is not. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I won't get one. But Matthew, for tattoos, what was then your thought process when you first got one? Because knowing that is ultimately depending on like where you grew up. Like we all grew up in like Catholic houses, right? And like to the extent that like I know my mom wouldn't want me to get one. So I'm curious, like, how did your parents react, and how did you feel like going into that, knowing that like chances are, I don't know, most parents probably be supportive, but they probably still give you hell.
Good question. So, I think my mom was more supportive than my dad was about getting a tattoo. Like my dad was like, "You're gonna regret that one day," and I said, "You know what? It's my body. And at that time, like going through school and all that, I'm like, you know what? It's about enjoying the moment, I think." And I was like, well, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm not going to regret it while I enjoy it in the moment, right? And that I still looking in the mirror and stuff, and I think it's awesome. But I also feel like I got something that's artistic and like very artistic. It's not like I had to pay for it, so it was a lot of money, but it looks like a mural or something. Like it's like something you could buy like at an art show, right, or something like that. So I felt really comfortable with it. I was very happy with it. But yeah, so the reason I got it, a couple reasons, is because I always thought I'm different in the sense like I like being different. I think it's cool. Like I think it's cool to like everyone can do all these things, like have these brands. I'm like, no, I want to be the opposite of that. That's just always been in my mindset. And at first, like I think there was a phase when I was a kid, I definitely was like, tattoos are super cool. Like I used to like those, peel, like those ones you put on the last 2 days, temporary ones. I liked them. And then there was like maybe in high school, I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of dumb, like for jobs and all, because that's what everyone's telling you, right? Like, oh, if you go in the real world, get a job, like you can't have a tattoo. I'm like, okay, so that is kind of dumb. And then I saw a couple friends get one, and then our friend Brandon, he got one, and I'm like, that is so cool, man. I really do want a tattoo. But I'm like, I got to figure out something that I like. And I was like, I don't want to cross or this or that. Not because I don't, believe in that stuff or anything like that. But I want something that has meaning to me and that I really like have passion in and stuff. And that's the other thing is that I didn't like get it for symbolism. Like, oh, this represents this or that. Like, I just really like Greek mythology. So I was like, I really like Hercules is my favorite hero. He's he's just a hero, right? And he had labors. And I thought, well, everyone's got a bunch of labors in their life. And I'm like, well, you know what? That makes sense with everything. And I love his story. I've always loved that he's just a hero to me. Like, even though he's not real. But anyway, I liked it, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it. And I'm like, I want a statue version of that because it just symbolizes, like, who he was in ancient Greece and all that stuff. Found one, got it done. I was super pumped. And then about 3 years later, my cousin, like, he saw me get my shoulder tattoo, and he had a small one on his back. And then he ended up getting a whole sleeve. I'm like, damn, dude. Like, and he got a wolf too, and I'm like, oh, damn, that's pretty cool. And then I'm like, then I kept on like putting lines on my arm to see if, like what it would look like, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I kind of want to get a full sleeve. And then I ended up getting the full sleeve and getting what I wanted. So I got Perseus right there, and I got the wolf, and then I got the hawk, and then I got the Leonidas statue in the back there. I was trying to get like the Leonidas, like Gerard Butler Leonidas, because he's just that movie, man, it's still one of my favorite movies, man. I just love that movie. So I wanted it in there because it's like everything came at once when I was in high school. Like I think it was grade 9 where I think YouTube just came out, and I saw a YouTube video of God of War 2. And I'm like, oh, this game looks really cool. And that's what got me into Greek mythology. And then 300 had just came out that year as well. And I'm like, this movie's awesome. And I kept on wanting to research things. So I kept on doing all these things. Clash of the Titans came out, all this. I just love Greek mythology. It's my favorite mythology. And actually, like, it got me into every other mythology. Like, it's funny how video games can do that. But it got me to a thing, so I wanted those things, right? And I said, you know what? I don't care. I want to be different. I don't care if people judge me. I can still go to work and wear a suit and be covered up, and no one would even know. So stuff like that, right? I wanted stuff to make sense. I wanted it to like be coverable. You know, if I have to go into a professional place, I'm professional. But outside of it, I can still be myself, right? So I didn't have a problem getting the tattoos. After they got one, like I got the one, it's not like they cared really. So after that, it's like, okay, it's his body, right?
Yeah.
So, and I still like him to this day. I don't regret him. It is tempting to get more, but it's the price point. I'm like, you know what? For now, I'm happy with what I got. You know, we'll see down the road, but I wouldn't mind more.
Yeah.
But I think it also helps when you're like in really good shape. You feel really confident,
when
right?
you-
You
when
feel
you
super,
show it
and then you
off,
want to
then-
show it off,
yeah.
yeah.
Because then,
Yeah.
like, all of a sudden, then you get, like, I always just think to myself, the one thing I always worry
Honestly, yeah. If you're gonna get one, get in shape. Like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna get like a full sleeve, get in shape. Yeah.
because, like, you want to
Because then you're really showing it off, and it's fun. Like you don't care. You're like, I'm being myself.
Yeah.
So
Whereas, like, I just think to myself, the worst thing is, like, knowing myself and, like, knowing that I've gone from being larger to smaller to larger
Yeah.
to now going back
but
to the
it
way.
doesn't. It won't do anything. Like if it's on your arm, it doesn't do anything.
I mean,
Like-
yeah, your arms don't really
Yeah.
get that
You're
much.
right.
Fat.
It's more like
if you had
in
if
my
you had
ribs, it won't impact my ribs because it's not right here. It's just where my ribs are.
It's,
Right.
it's if it's where like fat can build like on your
Yeah.
stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You know,
Even your
and-
legs are a little bit iffy, like they can be.
I couldn't happen.
But you got tiny calves, so it won't matter.
Yeah.
For everyone listening, I do not have tiny calves. My calves are the size.
When I flex my calves,
Both my calves are the size.
The tape,
approximately
measuring
of
tape,
the
just
Titanic
breaks.
of the Titanic ship, including all the holes.
Well, yeah, so I think that's the reason why I got tattoos. I've always liked them. I saw someone, and it helps too that I saw my artist do the work, like because I went and saw someone get a tattoo, and then the artist that I ended up picking was doing the tattoo for that person. So I saw it. I'm like, oh, this is
you got
awesome.
to-
She does a
you
great
got
job.
to
So
preview the work.
yeah, I got a preview. Yeah, I got a preview. It, so
Okay,
it helps,
okay.
right?
And I mean,
You gotta
like
find an
his,
artist that you're comfortable with, and you have to say, no, I don't like that. If you don't like what they're showing you, no, I want this, and because you only have one shot, it's a tattoo, it's your body. I've had someone say I like it because they did their own spin, and then after like I don't really like it. I'm like, why the fuck did you get it tattooed then? Why
Yeah.
didn't you say I want this changed, this changed?
Yeah, because otherwise, then you have to go through the laser.
Yeah,
which is
and I was
terrible.
ready to say that the first time, but then she saw, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then after that, after I built that trust the first time, like I wanted Gerard Butler. I didn't want the statue. I'm like, you know what? Okay, whatever, do it. And then she did it. So I have 3 like statues, like, and then I have nature around it. So I had the wolf and the hawk, and she blended it perfectly for a sleeve. So it was just like, yeah, it would have looked kind of silly with just a Gerard Butler in the back of my
Gerard
forearm.
Butler's face.
Like, but it's true though. Like it
Yeah.
worked out perfectly because I had him like with the helmet and the spear and the shield, right? Like he's
Yeah.
just there's a stance. I'll show you later, but yeah, that's what I wanted.
Take off your shirt, you slut.
No, they actually like she got the statue version that's in like the Battle of Thermopylae, like that actually happened. They have like a statue there in Thermopylae for him, and that's the statue that she put on my arm.
Oh,
So it was still cool. Like
Yeah.
so I still got Leonidas on there, so it's cool.
And like, to be fair too, you have to also I do look at it, I'm like, and you're right. Do understand that you have your own vision, but then I also look at the other end of it and you go, you know what though, these people as a living put art on people.
Yeah.
So they would almost and you're right, because it's your body and like no
Yeah.
doubt you pick what you want, like because if they give you something that's like a little bit too cartoonish and you want
Yeah.
it to be more realistic and you go no, maybe a little bit more in this direction. But like I find that whenever you suggest something, they go, you know what though, I think this will really look good. That's almost from the point where like that'd be tough, right? To be able to say, like,
Yeah.
it really say, oh okay, like I trust you because then
Yep.
they are the expert.
Yep.
But then also to say to yourself,
Well, because I was
maybe-
just like, I don't know how she's gonna feel it. 'Cause it is random stuff. It's not like they are a little random. Like they all make sense because they're all like Greek mythology and Greek and stuff, right? And then there's 2 nature points, so it does make sense in a sleeve. But what are you gonna fill it in with besides that, right? And then she's like, we're gonna do clouds, and it makes it look like they're all clouds, like Olympus clouds. So it works perfectly.
yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, you have to get a trust thing. The tattoo parlor, they're like, hey man, if you're gonna do this, you better be fucking committed. It's a $200 non-refundable deposit.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't want it, too bad. You're taking $200. You signed it, right? So you have to be committed too, right? You have to be fully committed to getting it.
Yeah. I was gonna say because like actually technically speaking, you could get the wolf because you could say the wolf you can spin in. I don't know about Greek mythology because I know
You
Greek,
spin in the 300 story though, right?
no I know I'm just saying
Yeah.
but like with Greek mythology I think if I'm not mistaken based on the game Age of Mythology that I've played they do have one that is a wolf but they also that also might be a reference that could be a reference to Norse mythology with Fenrir.
Yeah,
That's
it
the
could be
wolf.
Fenrir. It could be like what's it, Remus and
Romulus.
Romulus. Yeah,
Romulus.
the
Okay.
two from
Those
from
are
the
Romans.
Roman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roman. Okay, that was.
Yeah.
I'm like, I remember there.
That one's more like Cain and Abel. Like that one,
Okay.
like one
Yeah.
killed the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then-
The two
But
brothers.
it's still like it
two
works
brothers
right. It
were
works like
raised-
Fenrir. Yeah, like you
Yeah.
said, Fenrir.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought of too. I'm like, oh, this could be like Fenrir.
Yeah.
After, because if you actually look at all of them, they're all like very close in their own
Yeah.
ways. Like they're all the Norse is a little different. Like Norse has like the trolls and stuff that are completely different. Like they actually have an enemy.
Yeah.
I guess there's the Titans. We don't know much about the Titans, but they all kind of make sense. Like they're all like this or that. So, like I still have to listen to. I bought a 7-hour audiobook of all these Norse mythology stories.
Do it when you
I've-
travel.
I do it. Yeah, I do. I've gone through 3 hours so far. It's awesome, man.
Actually, I'll admit that would be.
It's
Well,
actually,
what's actually the name
the
of it?
Norse gods are so cool.
Well, for anybody, what's the name of it?
Let me, just give me. I actually have it right now. Just give me 1 second. It was
if-
like $2 too. It was
Well,
real
let's
cheap.
wait for the name and then we'll ask about sponsorship later. No.
That's way down
We
the line,
have
buddy.
an audience of approximately -5 to 3.
Yeah.
So it's
Means-
actually just like it's called Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman.
Yeah.
And Neil Gaiman, he wrote the book and he also narrated it on his audiobook.
Cool. So
And he's
that
actually got a good like British voice and everything like that. So
He's got a good
um,
British voice. That's how you know.
yeah,
it's
so
like-
it's
it's
very
like-
soothing. Yeah.
It's like the planet Earth, right into your ear.
Oh, David Attenborough. My goodness, that man. Honestly, like, I do consider myself a man who's very comfortable with his sexuality. There's a few people in life that do make me question that. When David Attenborough's talking, I'm like, this is someone who is so passionate about what he does.
Yeah.
And he loves every moment of being out there. And, like, when you hear his voice, and, like, his voice is just, like, it's that of an angel.
Yeah.
There's no other way to explain it.
The only thing like I've noticed in Norse mythology, like they're all different. They all have lessons in it, but I noticed that there's more lessons in Norse than there is. I feel like in Greece.
Greece
It's been a
is just
while.
a lot of Zeus getting a little bit too horny.
No, like
No,
90% of it is him
90%.
fucking.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of Greece is actually, it's not even necessarily the gods at that point. It's more about the heroes, right? Like Greece is all about
You're
the
right.
heroes.
The demigods.
Whereas, there's only one hero in Norse mythology.
Well, no, there's
No, there's one.
what?
Like they consider they consider there only being one hero of Asgard, and that's Thor. Thor is the hero that saves everything. He's the protector. He's supposed to, save them from Ragnarok or protect them from Ragnarok. But everything is destined to eventually end, so it doesn't matter. They both know their fates. But the one who protects Asgard is Thor. Odin's the all-seeing father, where he sees everything and he's the one who created everything. But the only hero is technically Thor. And then everyone else has just got their own, essentially like thing, right? That's
Well,
like Freya is like, I think she's like the one she can turn into. She has a cloak that helps her, like you're disguised as an eagle.
like,
and
none
then
of them help Thor though.
no, like they do help Thor. Like some of the things they do help Thor, and like Loki gets them stuck in a lot of sticky situations. Like he is a trickster in the
Yeah.
mythologies, and Thor's got to bail him out or this or that. Like the one that they find Mjolnir is because like Loki gets in trouble, and he cuts all of Thor's wife's hair, and then she's bald, so someone's got to craft her new hair that attaches to her scalp, and then she's got new hair again. So it's like Ivaldi and Brock, they end up creating the best hair, and then from there they're like, well, here's weapons. He's like, I bet you can't make a weapon, and then Loki tries to trick them, and they make the imperfect hammer because the holding grip of the hammer is a little too short, but it can do everything else, and Thor loves it, and Thor's like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, and that's how he gets Mjolnir. So like, there's all these stories. It's super
Why
cool.
do they make it imperfect then?
Huh?
Why do they make it imperfect?
Well, because Loki was like, Ivaldi and Brock worked together, and they're smithing. They worked super long hours
the
to
dwarves,
create
right?
to create the weapons, right? And what happened is Loki was trying to trick them but like he disguised himself as a fly and would like peck at him and get in their eye and stuff like that. And eventually, like he's like, you can't stop blowing the air into the furnace like to create the hammer, and he eventually just stopped for 1 second and it created an imperfect, holding thing for the hammer.
Oh,
but
okay.
everything else Thor loved, right?
So Loki tampered with it. Yeah.
So he a little tampered with it, but then he's like, oh shit. So he's just like shit, and then he had Mjolnir.
Yeah, but he still loves it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, no, it's the best thing, and it could go like essentially in Norse mythology, you can be like an ant, and then it can expand and it can go back down. Like it's not like in the comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Does it?
But it does it has like the strength, and you throw it and it comes back like a boomerang. Like it's got all that stuff in it.
So when I'm actually curious about too, especially when it comes to the Norse mythology, then I understand just basically off of the game Age of Mythology and off the movie Thor's, as pathetic as that is. From what I understand, then Loki is he the son then of the ice of the?
So I think he is.
He is an ice troll.
He actually is.
No,
He's
ice troll
legit.
or
No,
ice
he's
giant? I think
frost
ice
giant.
giant,
Frost
sorry,
giant.
frost
Frost
giant.
giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a part frost giant, part god. He's like kind of like a demigod, but he's also just a god in Asgard. Like he's technically a god of Asgard, not a troll or anything.
Yeah.
So the other problem though is that he's essentially, without putting it lightly, he's essentially Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Because his children are what create Ragnarok. Like one of his child is the Midgard serpent, one is Fenrir, and then one is like Hela, which is death.
Yeah.
So and they're all different tiers, right? So that's where it comes into play, where it's like Greek mythology again, because the Midgard serpent is like the water, Fenrir is like on the earth, and Hela's in hell, like Hades, right? So Hades, Poseidon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because Fenrir's stuck in Asgard, he got tricked because he's too strong. They all loved Fenrir, like that was Odin's dog for a bit. And they loved him, and they got scared because like Fenrir's gonna kill everyone.
Yeah,
he's too big. He's too big.
I know. It was Tyr.
And it was Tyr who lost his hand.
Sacrificed his hand because Tyr, isn't it like Tyr the? I can't remember what he.
Yeah, Tyr like they had to trick him into building this like.
It was
this
the ribbon.
noose is like this.
Ribbon.
Yeah, it was like a ribbon thing, and because he was breaking all these chains, that the Norse god, I can't remember his name, he's the forger, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, so eventually they got it. It was like a ribbon, and he couldn't get out of it. And then
Because
he's like Tyr promised him like, hey, I'll put my hand here,
and if
so
we
that
trick you,
trust
you can
me,
bite it.
yeah. And then if we trick you, you bite it, and he bet it.
Yeah,
So-
and that's why Tyr does.
But Tyr doesn't hate him. Like he felt bad for Fenrir.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that was it. Tyr got close to Fenrir.
Well, no, yeah, because Tyr
Yeah.
put his hand and said like.
Yeah, but Tyr was like his friend though, because
Fenrir said I won't do it unless
yeah,
he gives me this guarantee.
yeah. Well, and Tyr actually liked Fenrir, whereas all the gods were scared of him. He wasn't scared of Fenrir.
No.
Yeah.
I just remember what was Tyr's specific thing though?
He's
What
a god
was
of
it?
war.
Is he the god? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's the god of war and then god of not justice or courage or something else.
It's maybe something like that. I can't I don't know all those specifics.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
But it's very they're all similar. They're all pretty much the same. In their own ways,
Yeah.
they're different. And like I said, they're all of them are hero stories when it comes to Thor, right? Thor's the hero, but then there's different heroes in Greek mythology. Like it's more of your you're a demigod or you're just a hero. Like the Odyssey and Achilles, those Achilles is technically a demigod, but Odysseus,
Achilles was human, except his mother dipped him in the river
immortality.
Styx.
Yeah. So he's pretty much a god, though.
Yeah.
But the only thing that was his heel, right? So there's that, and then Odysseus, the Odyssey, the 10 years at sea after the Trojan War. Even though he was away for 20 years total. So there's cool stuff like that. Jason and the Argonauts, those are just heroes, and then there's the demigods like Perseus and Hercules and all that stuff.
Okay, so what was Hercules' feats then? Because he had the seven.
He had the
12 feats?
12.
he
No,
had
what was the name of
I
it?
think is it the 12 labors of Hercules?
12 labors. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a bunch of them. I can think some on the top of my head.
He slayed the Lion of
Nemean Lions one. There's the Hydra.
The Hydra is a second one.
I think I just remember in the movie.
There's I think there's the boar. Yeah, the boar's
there was
one.
that.
There's another one that's a bird. I can't remember what it's. But there is a bird, and that just it's some of those things in that Disney movie are they're real. They're part of it.
No doubt.
I know that he holds the world on his hand to get a golden apple.
Oh
So
yeah,
Atlas. Yeah, he tricks Atlas. So Atlas is you have to hold on to the world while I go get you this apple. And then he goes, okay. And Alice is like, gets the apple and comes back. He's like, I'm not going to let you go. Like, I'm finally free of holding the world on my shoulders. And Hercules goes, okay, well, can you give me like a 2-minute break? Yeah, sure. And he holds on the world again, and then he takes the apple and he walks away. So that's one, right, to get the golden apples.
Yeah.
And then there's the stable where he has to clean the stables, and it's like disgusting. It's this massive like stable of like the gods almost. So he essentially takes the river and moves the river over, and it just cleans up the stable in one day because you only had one day to do it.
Oh,
So there's stuff like that. So he had like you had the 12 labors. It's either 10 or 12.
It's 12.
It is, yeah. So it's 12. Yes, it's 12 labors. I thought so, and it's all just so that he gets forgiven and he doesn't have to hold on to his. It's kind of like God of War. Like he's just trying to get his memories wiped. Like he doesn't want, because he accidentally murdered his wife and his kid in a fit of rage. Like rage came over him. Like a god
it's
tricked
because
him.
Hera
Tricked him because she found out that he's a demigod. Like he's
he's
Zeus'
the son of
child.
Zeus or something.
Oh,
like that.
and Hera
So she
being-
tricked him and put rage to him, and then he accidentally killed his family. Like Megara is like Meg is his wife.
Oh, okay.
So then he's trying to redeem himself and be forgiven, and then not have those memories anymore. So he's got the 12 labors.
The 12 labors, as Wikipedia tells me, is
Yeah.
to slay the Nemean lion.
Yeah.
Slay.
Is that the first one? Is
Yeah.
those in order? Yeah, Nemean lion, and he
then
beats him. He
slays-
strangles him because that hide's impenetrable. So he wears the hide after.
Yeah.
no, I think he kills it with its own.
He
claw,
he strangles it.
Oh.
Yeah.
With
his strength.
Yeah. Number 2 is slay the Hydra.
Yep.
Number 3 is capture a hind, which is a deer.
Yeah, that was it. Because it had the golden. It was the hind of Artemis.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Number 4 is to capture the boar.
Yep.
Number 5 is to clean up the stables in a single day.
Yeah. Is it the Aegean stables?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Number 6 is to slay some birds.
Yep. They were killing they were killer birds.
Yeah. Kind of like harpies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 7 is to capture the Cretan bull.
Cretan bull. That was it. Yep.
Number 8 is to slay the mares of Diomedes. Number 9, obtain the girdle of I always have trouble pronouncing this word. Hippolyta or whatever.
Yeah.
Number 10 is to obtain the cattle of the monster Grayon. 11 is to steal the apples from
The cattle is
Hesperides.
that Grayon. I think is a Cyclops.
Yeah, he's a
Okay.
Cyclops. Number 11 is to steal the apples, and he has to get Atlas to do it because it burns.
Yeah.
Or
He essentially goes through Hades or something, doesn't he?
no, I think it's only immortals can pick the apples
Oh yeah,
or something like that. And then number 12 is to capture and bring back Cerberus.
Cerberus. That's the dog.
Yeah.
Three-headed dog.
Three-headed dog,
The
yeah.
Guardian of Hades.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so he does all those, and then he actually just gets essentially like risen up into Olympus,
Yeah.
and that's actually and every one of those labors is actually a life lesson. Technically, there's a lesson behind it.
Yeah. It says, after completing the 12 labors, one tradition says Hercules joined Jason and the Argonauts in their quest for the Golden Fleece. It's been disputed, but that's about it.
Yeah, and then essentially like his labors essentially set him free of his torment, I guess.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I could keep going on.
It's good
I love
stuff,
it.
man.
I love it, man. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's what I like about Greek mythology. I think that's what makes it so fascinating. But there's always stories behind everything. And then there's some fucked up shit too that just makes no sense, man.
Yeah.
Like Orion's belt and like how Medusa became to be. Like those are fucked up shit.
I like how they, try to explain everything through those
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah. Well, that's essentially like. Well, Greek mythology would have been the first one ever, and then probably the Roman. Because Roman is essentially the same. Like, there's not much of a difference.
Romans were based off the Greeks. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're like, we like this.
Romans is based off the Greeks, and then
You drunk?
like then would have been probably Norse.
I mean, like, chronologically,
There's obviously like different continents had different mythologies, but it like in that area in particular in Europe where it would have been Greece, then it would have been Roman, and then it would have been Norse because the Germanic tribes and all that they believed in Norse.
I thought Germanic tribes were descendants.
And Scandinavian. Germanic and Scandinavian tribes.
Yeah, but I thought they
Yeah.
were
And
descendants
then after
from
that-
the Norse, like the Norse or Viking people.
Yeah, Norse mythology is from Viking people,
Yeah.
yeah.
So then wouldn't Norse mythology be before any of them?
No, Greek mythology would have been before that.
Oh, that's what I mean.
I'm-
No, sorry, not before.
yeah.
No,
I'm saying Greek, then Roman, and then from Roman to Norse.
I thought it would be Greek and then Norse and then Roman because
Roman is way before.
No, well,
Ancient
no,
Rome?
no. There was a good period of time where the Romans were all pagans.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I'm talking ancient Rome here. I'm not talking like ancient Rome or Caesar and all that. They believed in those things to a certain extent. They didn't,
It is. I mean,
and
I
then
get where
and then
that's
it
coming
became
from.
paganism, and then it became Christianity, and that's where Christianity kind of came in, and then that's what took over Norse mythology. But they're pretty similar. Like there's still similarities. People like identify Thor's hammer as the cross. Like it's very similar the way it's designed. If you ever look at it, Thor's hammer, like from what Mjolnir looks like in pictures and stuff, like from
yeah.
the 1500s, like yeah, it's pretty much like a cross. Like there's a super good show. Like they only did one season, but it's like mythology, myths or something. Like it was on History Channel, and they went through a bunch of Greek mythology stories, and then they went through the Norse one with Thor, and the Midgard serpent, like Ragnarok. They went through Ragnarok. It's pretty
So
cool.
what is Ragnarok?
You want me to go through it? The
I
Ragnarok
like
is essentially
mythology.
the world ends. That's what Ragnarok is.
No.
So it's just like, it's kind of like the movie, like the Thor Ragnarok movie, like, but it's not. There's only one thing right about that movie is for Ragnarok, like Asgard ends, but in this case, the whole world ends, not just Asgard.
Yeah.
So like the Earth dies and becomes new. Like it's essentially like the Ice Age and everything like that, right? So Ragnarok is essentially like everyone's fates are decided. They're all entwined together. No matter what happens, that's their fate. So like Thor and the Midgard serpent are destined to both die and kill each other, and then Fenrir is destined to kill Odin, and stuff like that. So it's just a huge battle that ends the world and ends Asgard, and all the gods die. So I think the first part is like Thor. Well, the Thor and Midgard serpent are fighting, and I know that the first person to die is Odin. Fenrir kills Odin.
Yeah.
And I think Fenrir also dies, but I can't remember specifically. But that's why Odin's so afraid, because he's only got the one eye because he gave up his eye to see everything, right? That's why he's the all-seeing All-Father.
Yeah.
So it's essentially just all the gods die, everything gets wiped, and they're all destined to be intertwined. Like there's no escaping your fate. And that's the whole that's the whole reason of Ragnarok. You're destined for fate, and there's nothing you can do to change your fate.
Yeah.
Is essentially what Ragnarok is
Shit.
represents. Yeah.
The ultimate doom.
Yeah. So that, like I said, like I was telling Jason, like they all have metaphors. Like they're all just metaphors for people, but they're just told in a story that makes you like interested in the story of the metaphor, right? So, like the other one is like, the Hydra, for example, with Hercules, when you cut off one to come back in its place, I think it's like if you don't cut you can't just cut the problems away. You got to deal with them and find a solution. It was something along those lines, right? Like those are just the metaphors of it. So,
It's cool stories.
Ragnarok's so big, it's so massive. Like there's too much
Yeah.
to say. Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well find an actual expert on this, or listen.
Honestly,
to
like I said,
listen to his the audio tape.
You should just go home and like type YouTube in mythology Thor. My History Channel will be 50 minutes long. It's the best 50 minutes you'll watch. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I got a text from Kevin. He's coming in next weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He told me that.
Cool. Just in time for the long weekend.
I was gonna say actually no, and I just keep asking because like
It's super
mythology in
interesting.
general is same thing to me. I just think it's interesting because you know what it is too. It's people at that time trying to make sense of the world around them, and that was the one thing they could do is go, you know what, this is why this happens because
you know,
God or this magical power or this.
you know why they like the Scandinavians love Thor, right? Because he's battling the frost giants to make winter go away quicker.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the whole point. He's fighting frost like thunder, so you're like that's Thor fighting them. Like that's how loud he's fighting them from where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Jotunheim fighting. It's pretty cool.
That's actually, and that's a cool concept. And like, you know what? Actually, and also, I admit when I looked up the Vikings, I thought that my favorite thing about it is too learning, because I do it on night shifts when I'm at the hospital. The one thing I learned was that because I always thought I'm like they are raiders and pillagers, and that's all they do. That's everything. No, in quite actuality, they are first off very industrious trade people, and on top of it, agriculturally, they were way beyond anyone of the time, because of the fact that like with their climate and with everything they had some of the best farms and the best crop. Like, I'm not necessarily going to say crops, because I do not have that expertise, but I just know that agriculturally, that's why they were seen as being giants, because at the time they were, I think I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but they were shorter than we are now.
They remind me, they're like the super northern European version of a Spartan.
Yeah,
like where death is glory.
Oh, yeah,
like it's all about because you're doing it to go to Valhalla.
And well, at the same time though, like they were though why they got so like, and because I remember when the people of Wessex and the people of like England were talking about them, especially were saying that they were monsters of men. They were giants with blonde hair, and they were like lunatics. And the idea of it was too is the fact that they got that big because of the agriculture and because of the climate. It was a hardy climate, which means only the fittest really survive there. And when you do survive there, the fittest with good agriculture, they get larger. And I think I don't remember the exact number, but it's something like 5 foot. They were 5'6" or 5'5" when the average.
Oh wow!
Or 5 foot. 5'4" or 5'6" or something like that. And I think the average person from Wessex was like 5 foot or 5'1".
Holy shit!
And that's why they were seen as giants, because they really were. They, at the time, they were a lot bigger than anyone else. So then everyone else was. And I
Did
just
they
thought,
create any kind of like industrial age thing?
oh
Vikings?
no, they were way gone before the industrial age.
No, I mean like I mean by that like there was the Bronze Age and everything, like because that's what the Spartans are, in the Greeks, right? That was the Bronze Age.
There was a period of
Are they the Iron Age technically, or
they used iron.
They did use iron, but they weren't. I think that one of the greater accomplishments that they've sort of did and
they found the
with
West,
world,
right?
Yeah, was
travel.
they did a whole lot of like seafaring.
Yeah.
I think they mapped up a lot of the Iceland, Greenland,
North America.
North America, yeah.
Well, yeah, because they would have been the first ones in North America.
They were the first ones. They were the first ones
other
there.
than the
Aztecs and all that, yeah.
Well, yeah. Cause
I mean,
Well,
they were
did you
way
hear
further
that,
south.
like on the Joe Rogan cast, that like they used to think that there was like close to 2 million Aztecs,
oh, they're
and then they got wiped out from just disease.
Oh yeah, because like have you ever
the Spaniards came
with Cortez? I looked that up.
Yeah.
Sorry, and
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm saying with Cortez, it was easily because like he was outmanned. Not outgunned. He had the technology, but outmanned to I can't remember how
Like
many.
5-1 or something.
Way
like that.
even more than that. Way more than 5-1. Ridiculous numbers. But at the end of the day, it was the king of them at the time that trusted him enough to be like, you know what, come in. We'll have a meeting and discuss what we can possibly do here. And once they got them in there, that's when they essentially ambushed the king. Shot everyone in the room, killed everyone, or grabbed the king and said, like, we'll kill him.
Yeah.
Brought him up and said to the people, if you want your king to or I think it's if you want your king to live, you'll it was either something about them looting, like looting all the like a lot of the gold they had there and a lot of the riches and taking them with them. And they said, like, if you don't, we're going to kill the king. The people just started stoning the king. They said,
well, I was going to say, yeah, they're fucking crazy.
Oh, they just said, no, they were essentially, I don't know why I think they're just pissed off at them for, I'm not sure if it's
I mean, in a culture of let's sacrifice this person.
Yeah, let's sacrifice. Or, well, hold on, though. Was that Aztec or was that Mayan?
I thought it was a lot of that sort of...
I genuinely don't know whether it was Aztec or Mayan that did the sacrificing. But regardless, so essentially, though, the Spaniards, the major reason why, I think, but even before I'm not sure if this was before they even went in to meet the king, but or when they were holding out with the king, waiting for the people to surrender, the people, just the sicknesses they brought, the illnesses they brought.
That's what wiped them out.
Devastated.
Smallpox,
oh, dear Lord, devastated that population. And, like, they were very industrious people. They had, once again, agriculturally, I know that much, they were very advanced. Their city, yeah, you're right. It was something like 2 million. It was ridiculous the amount of population they had.
Yeah, it was super high. Yeah,
like,
because they're finding him in like the rainforest right now, and then the forest, like there's so much undiscovered because it's so much bush and tree and like they're just like doing aerial views now, and they're finding all these lost cities that they never
And
knew were
it's
there.
amazing knowing that like these people, just like the Aboriginals, were absolutely devastated by disease because at the end of the day, and it's funny, you think to yourself, oh, is the Spaniards, and like I remember watching not Emperor's New Groove, Road to El Dorado,
Yeah.
and I remember watching that going like, oh, it's the the Spanish are the reason that it was such a terrible why they all died. It was, but it really wasn't them directly killing them. It was just the diseases they brought.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And like, who could have seen that coming right at that time? Who would have known?
That's insane.
You know what they should do? I want a live action version of The Emperor's New Groove.
Ooh, yeah, played by David Spade.
And John Goodman.
How cool is the name Cortez? That's a cool name.
Cortez is a really cool name. I actually do remember off the scene off Road to El Dorado. It's like my.
Is he in the movie Cortez?
Yeah,
oh,
he was.
Oh, I
At
didn't know
one
that.
point, that's why they ended up getting over there because they were stowaways on his ship. They caught him, and then essentially at one moment I think he's like putting him in the brig so whenever they get back they're gonna be hanged. And essentially I just remember the one scene was just as a kid I was just like, oh damn, because I remember he just turned around and it was such a dark room and he's a big menacing guy. It turned around and he's like my crew was as carefully chosen as the disciples of Christ.
Whoa.
And then, like, I just remember hearing that line as a kid. And I just remember that was one that resonated with me. I'm like, oh, fuck, they're in trouble now. Right? Because, like, they were sitting there going, oh, we're part,
They're all sitting there joking around with each other and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, he's being serious.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this guy doesn't play.
They
he
done.
He don't play. He don't play like
they
that.
did.
Yeah, they did. No, that was such a good movie, though. You fight like my sister. I fought your sister. That's a compliment.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite lines.
Oh.
Is that what Apocalypto is about? Isn't that about the Aztec?
I think Apocalypto. See, I think it's Mayans.
Is that the
I think it's the Mayans.
Oh, the Mayans.
Mayans. I think
The Mayans. It's the Mayans.
Were the people who sacrificed mainly. Who were
No, that was the Aztecs that sacrificed. They're freaking crazy, man.
Jamie, bring it up.
All I'm saying is
Jamie?
that I want to see a live action.
Jamie?
A live action Emperor's New Groove with David Spade and John Goodman.
Who's the jacked guy?
Kronk, that's Patrick Wahlberg.
He's the one who's putty, right? In Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's perfect for that role, too.
And then, who played Yzma?
You're right.
Eartha Kitt.
Aztecs are
Eartha
crazy,
Kitt.
dude. That's why they killed the emperor right away. Their king right away. Or the emperor. Because they didn't care. Because they sacrifice people all the time.
Is Eartha Kitt dead?
Do you know the
Oh,
Aztec...
they both did.
Yeah, do you know the Aztec
Eartha
games?
Kitt's dead.
Like, if you won...
Eartha Kitt's dead, so it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
If you actually won, like, that was like a huge honor, like, to win in the Aztec games. It's
You were
no, you get chose to be sacrificed.
Yeah.
That's the one who gets if you win.
Oh, well, I guess you're the most worthy. Yeah, it makes sense. Shite.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
But also, to be
I'd
fair,
be like,
though,
fuck no, I don't want to win.
No, but if it's a religion, right? Also, at the same time, though, if you were to grow up knowing at that time, I don't know what the life expectancy was, but it can't be that high.
Gotta be like
Like
15.
30.
Yeah, no, not at 50. Wait, I'd say probably close to 30 or 40.
I'm just
Where you-
kidding.
No. Well, even way.
I meant for the Aztecs because they all sacrificed
You know what?
everyone.
Once again, though, I'm saying this like I fucking know. I really don't know. But
It's probably 25. Let's be honest.
like, if you were to grow up knowing in your community that like you grew up and every single day it's ingrained in you that this is the one way to gain, and I do not know the religion, but I'm guessing to them to be like gain an afterlife is to sacrifice yourself to the gods because now you are giving the ultimate testament to your faith, right? You're giving yourself to be a sacrifice. It's almost like a martyr.
Well, see, that's where I find the Aztecs and the Mayans interesting because they have like, and even the Egyptians, they have murals and hieroglyphics and all this art and shit that you're like, what the fuck is this? And how the fuck did you see it? But I guess a lot of it is, could be explained through drugs, right? Like they think that they were all doing like, have you ever tried DMT before? They said it's like they all accidentally, there was some kind of thing that was like, almost like
a psychotic or
DMT
something?
that was like maybe like a psychotic, so you would hallucinate and see these things. So I'm like,
I mean,
or they actually just saw something
like-
fucked up. Like it's
I
one of
mean,
the
like
other.
Native Americans use like peyote and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah,
I would imagine some sort of psychotic was down there.
yeah.
Well, isn't that?
Well, that's what they
but
think.
I just remember specific. I know where.
But then the only thing with the Egyptians is like, how the fuck did they make that shit? There's just no way.
what, the pyramids?
Yeah, like all
Slave
that.
labor.
No, but didn't they just
No. No, it has to do with like the mathematics. Like it's just
They were
it-
they
like-
were great with math.
No, they were insane. Like that's what I think that's what they're like saying is like I don't know how the fuck they figured it out.
Oh.
So like without any of the tools, right, and all that, or because essentially like people nowadays don't even know how to design it properly. Like you had to like take a supercomputer to do it.
Someone was telling me, and I'm not sure 100%, but whether or not the pyramids were actually mainly built with slaves, or whether or not
No, it was slave labor. Yeah,
No, it wasn't. It wasn't technically slave labor.
I think they
like,
volunteered, right?
They were
They're
they're
getting
paid
paid.
workers. They were
Yeah.
paid workers, but they were paid not
Garbage.
Okay, that was.
It was
that is
essentially
the,
slavery.
That is the, 'cause
But
the caveat.
it wasn't even. It wasn't even the pyramids. I think it was like like the tomb there. What's his name? Like the king? Is it King Tut?
No,
I do not know.
it wasn't King. It was Ramses or something.
Or
like
it was
that.
but something like someone's. I think it might have been Ramses. Yeah, where it's like almost impossible. Like the pillars are way too. Like there's. I think they're like 200 or 300 feet in the. Like they're massive pillars. They're like, how the fuck could they do that and then carry it all the way up with like rope?
yeah,
They're like, how the fuck did that happen? There's just like, there's no answer. Like they don't know how it
Perseverance.
happened. That's insane though. That's crazy.
yeah. You have to admit, like, just thinking to yourself,
And it's all like
yeah.
fucking like stone, and it's like
Yeah.
perfect. It's like smooth. Like
The general
Holy
theory
shit.
is that Stonehenge is dug up like.
well, it's
almost
waterstone, right? Isn't that?
Like, no, it was the stone that
Oh, you're
makes
talking-
up Stonehenge.
Yeah.
was dug up like 200 miles away or something like that, carved there, and then dragged over logs by just sheer human
Oh.
effort.
Jesus.
That makes sense. Yeah, but it's crazy, right? Like there's
It's just
there's some fucked up. Like there's just no explanation for
It's just I
ancient.
honestly I want to say it is the results and
Aliens.
sort of trophy of human ingenuity and perseverance.
I think it's aliens.
I think it's aliens. That's the only.
It's got to be aliens.
It's
I'm
Baker
just kidding.
Street right there. Good stuff.
What are you doing?
He's just having a sniff.
Oh, is it?
It's good stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff.
As a guy who smoke, I enjoy the smell. I really genuinely do. I like that.
Baker Street Tweed
What kind?
Indica.
Nah. See, I would
No
say-
thanks.
I'm not a big fan of sativa.
No, see,
Oh, I
am
love
now
sativa.
because I realize I'm already a lazy person to begin with. Indica makes me twice as much. Whereas sativa, the thing about sativa I always liked it. I'm able to keep a routine. So I go.
Indica
sativa-
almost melted my brain, so I'm never doing
Yeah,
indica
that's true.
again.
You almost died.
I almost
But
died.
but for me, with sativa, the biggest thing I've noticed is like indica, it's nice, but at the same time, like I get nothing done. Which don't get me wrong, if that's what you're looking for, it's
Yep.
perfect.
Like
for it.
I go just have like a joint or something like that, and I just sit down, play some Hearthstone, play some Borderlands. Like I play video games.
Yeah, see, it's the same thing. And like I do it, and don't get me wrong, indica is good for that, but I find it, especially if you're playing FPS, sativa I always find is a little bit better. 'cause
Depends
they're, like,
on your-
You're still a little bit crisp. Like
Depends-
you know what I mean? Like indica, like when we play, me and Matt.
I'd
and-
pass
and-
out. Like indica
still-
would make you pass out. Like
Well, it depends.
It depends on
if,
how much
if
you
you're
have.
used to, like, don't get me wrong. When we play,
No, for
like,
me-
indica chills me out a little bit more because, like, when we play Destiny, me and Matt were doing the raid, and I distinctly remember, like, I did it before anyone else because I'm just kind of better. But when it comes to Matthew and no, I'm kidding. I just don't like waiting. When it came to we were playing when we were going through the raid at one point, like we wiped a few times and it was getting a bit stressful. I'm like,
I gotta chill out here. I gotta go take a hoot.
no, I'm like, we got a time, and we got a bit of a second, so I'll go take a hoot. But it's so funny because the second I take a hoot, it's almost like I'm not saying it's Popeye and spinach, but
Yeah.
like the second I take a hoot, all of a sudden I come back and I'm like, yeah, I'm chill now.
I'm chill
'Cause,
now,
like,
bro.
Well, and Matt knows from Apex, I get anxious. I get real anxious when I play
Yeah.
stuff. Like I get tight. I get real tight. I'm like,
Yeah, anything like
Like you
where
can snap a
he
pimple in
actually
his
is
finger.
relied upon,
oh,
he's getting
oh,
anxious.
Oh, I hate relying. Like even like see, Dota isn't bad because like games like Dota and like MOBAs
Well, I mean,
like that.
like, you got other people to carry the game.
I got
for
other
you.
people.
I don't have problem like with the raid either. Like for the most part, someone can like for most mechanics, there's someone who can bail you out. Like for
Yeah.
the most part, there's someone who can. If it's like you're either the
Unless
super
you fuck up
important
the
position,
dogs and then you're done.
it's either you're the super important position or you're not,
Yeah.
and you got to make sure you're just not. If you're not comfortable, I feel like you just got to do it and fail. And if people boot you, but you get experience from it because you're doing the hardest thing,
True.
and then you become the one who they need, right?
Well, see, that's a good mindset though, because that's going without the fear of failure.
And then you have to go in realizing you might not beat it for the first week, like.
See, I
the goal-
never think that for a second.
No,
I
the
know
goal, like, I wanted to
second
beat
I
it.
go in there-
Yeah, I go in there
Remember-
like, all
remember
right, I'm
when
gonna
we got-
finish this by the time I go to bed.
Yeah,
Like-
every time.
Like that's the thing though. Like if you go in blind, like that, if you watch YouTube videos, then you're just like, yeah, we'll get it done, no problem.
I think
So-
the first time I ever finished the raid in Destiny, the first Destiny 1,
Oh, you
was-
did play that?
I did play
Oh.
it because I remember finishing it because what happened was Matt's like, hey, I got a group of guys that doing the raid. You want to join? I'm like, sure. It's like, cool. We're at the last
Oh
checkpoint.
yeah, you and Sylvan beat it. Yeah, you
No,
guys
I
won.
didn't beat it with Scylla. I beat it with you.
Oh,
and
okay.
I went, all right, cool. I joined. I got to the very end there, and I stood around. I shot like maybe 2 or 3 things, and then like 20 minutes later, it was over. I'm like, cool.
Good,
Yeah,
I did it.
because I knew how to do everything in
Yeah.
the portals,
They
so
made-
I just did everything, and then I just
Yeah.
needed people to do DPS while I did the shield stuff. It was
Yeah.
easy.
He did.
But no,
it-
you said that you took that responsibility the first time you did it, right?
So yeah, so what happened is the first
You
time
were with the
I
full group.
so when we originally all got Destiny together, it was a dream, and it still is to this day, and probably will never happen. But I wanted to do a raid with all of you guys as my friends. I'm like, this would be so cool. Like doing it all. It's a fun shooter. Like everyone can like it. Like different classes, all that, right?
WoW Classic.
No,
Join us,
no,
Matthew.
I am
Join
not
us.
joining WoW Classic. Fuck WoW Classic.
But, hey, World War Z has some new missions and
Oh, they
some
do?
new shit. So we should go back and do all that.
I'm down one.
I'm gonna have to re-download that. It was taking too much space, but yeah, I'm gonna do that.
got
I'm
rid
down.
of it too.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I'll
that's totally
re-download
fine,
it.
but-
No, I'm gonna get
Yeah,
that.
just letting you guys
I'm
know.
okay with that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have
There's
to
new
definitely.
missions, new
when
stuff.
when Sil comes back, we'll play it.
Yeah.
Sure.
But anyway, yeah. So I've always had this dream where it's like, yes, all my friends, like this is a game we can all play together.
Yeah.
We can do a raid. And then everyone is like, we all tried it, I think for like 10 minutes. That we couldn't even get past the entry point into the Vault of Glass. And everyone's like, fuck this. And no one did research on it, right? So then eventually I'm like, I want to do the raid. But it was so hard to get to that light cap. Like, you had to get to a level to do it, right? You had to be
Yeah.
a certain level. Like, I think you had to be like 27 light. And it was so hard to get light at that point in that game, right?
You had to be-
so you
you
got
had
to get
to- you
lucked
had to
out.
grind
But
like
no
a
one.
motherfucker.
Oh, yeah,
Me and Sil and Jason would do Nightfalls to try to get higher loot.
We
And
would-
we
it
would
would
like
be- yeah.
literally just do cheeses because that's the only way we could do because we're so under leveled. And if you died, you had to restart the whole mission. Like you got put back in orbit and you had to go restart the mission.
Yeah.
And then you're like, fuck. So we did all that stuff. We cheesed it all that, and then I eventually got in the raid, and I found a raid team. They let me play, and they're like, yeah, you're doing the hardest stuff. I'm like, what? Yeah, just do it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I'll do it. And I did it, and I'm like, oh, this is actually easier than probably doing what they have to do.
Yeah.
So then I did it, and then I just kept on doing it. And then I would like, well, this is so much fun. I want to do it with my other character, and I actually made 2 more characters just so I could do it.
Yeah.
And then I figured out like, oh, you can swap weapons between characters that helps your light level. This, that. So that's where I'm like, oh, okay. Then once you've done one raid, you can do them all.
Yeah.
I mean, Destiny wasn't a bad game. I just lost interest in it
'Cause there's
real
nothing
quick.
to do.
Yeah.
But you know what Destiny is? It's the same thing as honestly, it's like World of Warcraft, where you have an expansion. You're like, I gotta grind. I gotta do this. I want it. There's an end goal. I want to achieve it. And you go and you work your ass off for a month and a half, and you play it. And then there's not much content left after that.
Yeah.
So, but then they come out with something after. You're like, okay, I'm back in it again. Like it's one of those things. Where
Yeah,
you take a break
World of
and come
Warcraft
back.
definitely got a hold of me, but like after this last one, I don't think I'm ever gonna go back.
No, I'll admit if they like other than them rebooting old expansions, like if they rebooted the Burning Crusade, I'm in. They rebooted even Wrath of the Lich King, I'd play again.
You know what the problem is though? Like the whole problem with that is that
I'll do classic. That's about
the
it.
only thing I don't like about World of Warcraft in that I love how they're bringing classic back for people who like I love that.
Finally listening to the.
But
fan
they
base.
should have just done like a classic mode and then not have to pay the money.
No, they'll always charge money because that's
They'll
how they
always-
make
No,
it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying though. Like that's the thing with World of Warcraft. Like maybe it's like say like hey, you pay an extra $20 this month for your subscription or whatever it be, right? Just for if you want WoW Classic and then you've paid the money or
But
something.
you essentially, if you
But-
think about it, they're just
but-
giving it to you for the just general.
no, I
You
know.
pay 15, you
I
pay
know.
$15 a month for it, and then if you want, I think there's a bundle package or something
But,
to, if you want
but
to play.
if they re-release
regular WoW?
if they re-release everything, like you said, like the old expansions, then they're just bringing back the same game. Like
Yeah.
it's identical. Like there's nothing different.
because Blizzard is finally realizing what their fan base
But
wants.
why
They
doesn't
want the
Blizzard
old
just start
game.
making that stuff in their current game?
Well, that's the thing, though.
They
If
can. They still can.
They can,
They
but
can
like
just say they fucked up and change things.
Yeah, but
the way the world has changed and the classes have changed and everything like that.
It's impossible.
You can't go, okay, you want to pay $15 just for classic, but then everyone else is playing, all the other expansions and stuff like that. Like even from 1 to 60 now compared to classic is not the same. It takes me what, like a week to go from level 1
not even. Not
to
even
level
a week.
60?
4 days of playing casual.
Yeah.
4 days. I know this.
Oh, it's not a challenge, you're saying?
Oh no,
No,
it
it
is
is-
like someone's holding
That's
your hand throughout the whole time.
that's the problem with Destiny 2 is that it was too casual.
Yeah,
because
like
everyone was like, "I love the hardcore. It's hard to
And-
you're hoping
and-
to get the gear that you want. And it's
Yeah.
like fuck another week. I have
That's
to
why
try
the
this
raid
for."
was fun,
Well,
even
that's
if you
but that's
failed.
what the game is. That's what this game
And,
is,
like-
right? Like that's both World of Warcraft and Destiny. It's trying to get you to come back for another week because you didn't get what you wanted.
yeah, but
That's-
you know what? Now
WoW is not like a week. The WoW's like months.
No,
Yeah.
I know, but that's the same. Like that's what
Same
I'm saying.
thing, same
No, but
concept.
you have your weeklies and your
Yeah.
dailies. Like that's what you're like,
Incentives.
and you're like, okay, maybe I can get it in this
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
and then you don't get. You're like, fuck, and then you keep on going for 5 months, and you finally get what you want, and you're like, final
What was
fucking
it?
leave.
Yeah, like when we were playing on that WoW Classic server, we grinded out dungeons over and over and over again, just so that we had the gear to help us get through the next couple of levels.
Yeah.
But like the thing that was fun about that too is that like it was that's what made also with like with Classic and with anything with progression. Classic also added the aspect of in the new in WoW current what you can do is you can buy what's called heirloom gear. And so what it does is it levels with you. It's no longer gear that you
Oh.
get per level, right? Like say you're level 10, you get oh my god, a new chest piece. Holy
Yeah.
shit. This
Yeah.
is way better than and it's that feeling WoW did because okay, this gear will be
With you.
statistically, it'll level up with you and will power up every time and get stronger and stronger and
So
until
you can
get to
just
max
keep
level.
your armor and
Yeah.
then just levels up
And-
with you.
and-
And that's in the new one or the old one?
The new one. And the thing is
Oh,
that
yeah,
like
that's-
that creates an aspect. Don't get me wrong, it's really convenient because it's like holy shit, and it also gives you increased XP, so you just level faster.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only thing that sucks is that if you don't use it, you feel like you're crippled compared to everyone else. Like you're like, well,
Mm.
shit. If I'm gonna level a new guy, even if you're like, hey, I'm gonna stay legit and just get items. Even then, even in an easier experience, you say, you know what, it's not fair because all of a sudden you look at the guy next to you who's the same level as you, who has twice as much HP, twice as much
Oh.
everything because he's beef.
Yeah, and like
And then you go, well, if I'm not playing like that, I'm playing at a disadvantage. Whereas WoW Classic went, you know what? No hand holding.
WoW Classic, you
have
were
shit
like-
gear. You only get gear that you earn, and if you don't earn it, then you're gonna have shit gear
or
forever.
yeah, it's like
The
what is
hardest
it?
part about that, the hardest part about what both I think Destiny and World of Warcraft face as a challenge, like the biggest challenge, is that you're trying to cater to both. Because you want the casuals to be able to go there and enjoy their time, but you also want to make it a
True.
grind for the people that are dedicated and that are like the hardcore. And it's so hard to make it.
I need to moisturize my shins.
It's so hard. Like it's so hard. It's pretty much impossible.
you see,
I
with-
understand that they're doing the WoW Classic now for the hardcore and that people are like, yes, finally hardcore again, like awesome. But then it's like, I just don't get it. Like,
Because like
or why didn't they try something new and ambitious? Like they can keep on doing Warcraft,
Well,
but like create a new world.
The only
Like
issue is that
update
with
it.
the way Warcraft works, with them adding expansion after expansion, the only issue is that every time they add an expansion to recreate it and make a new world, then everything but previous to it becomes non-existent. It becomes
oh,
because there's no longer. What's the point of you going back to the level 20 zone? No point.
Yeah.
There's never a point. Ever.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, but
They'd have
I
to
mean,
make-
you know
they'd
what?
have to make a new game.
Like they
Yeah.
come out. Every expansion comes out with new raids. You know what? The only raids that matter are the ones from the newest ones, because that's
Yeah.
what everyone's doing.
The
That's
newest
where
gear.
everyone is. You are hard out of luck to find someone
but I
to
think
go
everyone's
raid.
gonna have their own favorite raid, right? Because like is yours like the Lich King?
It's like
I see this thing. I never raided because
Oh.
I was a bit too busy being a piece of shit troll.
Oh, okay. See, like for me, it's still Vault of Glass. Like it's their first experience,
it's
right?
cool. It's cool
And you
when
had
you're
a great
actually
experience.
sitting and going through it and listening
Yeah.
to the lore and stuff like
Karazhan.
that. But like, what is it? As new expansions sort of come out and like you go back to like because you want to do the lore or whatever, like you just run through it so quick that you don't really pay attention to anything that's going on. And like, I feel with every new expansion, the only one that matters is the newest one because everybody just skips over.
Yeah.
And that's where like
all
I
the old
like what
stuff.
Destiny's done in the sense of like, hey man, all this gear from year 1 and year 2, we realized like it sucked that you couldn't really upgrade it. So now everything's upgradable. So you're not stuck with the new shit. Like you can have the old shit again. Like you can have your
But you
favorite
increase the light
auto
level.
rifle.
Yeah, that's
And it increases like with you. Like you can increase it now. Like you can merge everything, and that's what they did in Destiny 2 right off the bat. Like because in Destiny 1 it was like, oh, your Suros regime from year 1 before the the Taken King expansion. Oh, it's useless now. You have to get the year 2 version or this or that, right? And then this one, it's like, no man, we'll let you merge everything, and you can still bring it up with you wherever you
Yeah.
want because it's like your favorite
It's
gun,
light
right?
level, Yeah, yeah.
Like I was like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Like that part I like because it's like you're not just stuck in the new gear and that raid gear is the only gear you can use. Because then you're like, no, I'm stuck with the new raid gear. I can't do anything but the raid stuff, right?
Because otherwise it's shit.
Yeah.
To
And
an
then
extent, though,
and
the
that's
raid
like
gear, even currently though, if you don't use raid gear while you're in the raid, you're almost just crippling yourself again.
there's no, because now they've added slots that you unlock in every like legendary armor piece. That there's like a spec thing where you can either like add boss specs, DPS specs, everything to add onto your armor. So now it's like these little things that you put it. They're called mods.
Okay.
Like they're armor mods and
No.
gun mods.
Those were in the game when I was
No,
playing.
yeah. But these are completely new. They're different mods. Like when they came out
They're
with
probably,
Forsaken,
like,
they're
better-
completely.
yeah.
They're not like those little mod pieces that you upgrade. Like it's a specific like one's like a heavy boss spec where you like do more damage while having this on your armor to the major boss. One is like the ad spec where you do more to your ads. One is like you deal more damage if it's an arc damage. It's not like those like the arc, solar, and
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just like sort of like they help you specify.
Yeah,
what
you
your
can
activities
specify
and
and you
stuff
can
like
use the old gear instead
Do
of
you-
just using the raid gear.
Yeah.
that. Do you remember how stupid some of the WoW gear was in Classic?
Oh dear lord. Yeah, there was. I will never forget the fact that it didn't matter what class you were. You like so in the game like for Matt and everyone else, like the one class was. I remember when I first started, I played a warrior because I thought this is the ultimate badass
Frontliner.
fantasy hero. He wears heavy armor, right?
Yeah.
Big ass, and he has a huge double-handed axe. I go into that game and I start playing. And I get some mail gear, and it kind of looks like, oh, hey, it's got like chain mail. I'm like, cool. This is sweet. I get to the first dungeon. The first dungeon I do drops shoulder pads, and I go, holy fuck, boys, I got shoulder pads. I'm like, here we go. Get big ass. I'm like, it would give me huge pauldrons, right? Like giant, and like my guy's gonna be so demeaning. Little do I know, I look at the description. The pauldrons are not mail, which is the armor class that mine equips. They're cloth. And I'm like, whatever, they'll still be like shoulder pads. I put them on. Not only do they not cover my whole shoulder, they're like these dinky little ass triangles that just come right off the tips of my shoulder blades. And I just go, I remember at the time, I just go, even seeing that shit, I just go, holy fuck, I got shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah! And even
Dude.
though it looked like shit, like I look back and I'm like, why did I sell
Hey,
it?
it's exciting.
cool, man.
But like
It's
I
exciting.
remember like playing like a hunter and like cool, I got new mail. It gives me like 14 arcane damage. I'm like,
We literally all three
I
of
only
us.
have one skill that uses arcane damage.
It's a big skill.
Dude, all three of us literally sat in front of a cave and shot it for 18 hours straight, hoping to get a purple engram in
Yeah,
Destiny.
Yeah, I
the
remember
blue
that.
cave.
We're all
yeah.
like, it's the coolest thing. Like, those are the fun parts of the stories. Honestly, it's or the gear you really want. You're like, oh my god, I want it so bad that you're like using this gun to get to this gun, and then you actually fall in
like,
love
yeah,
with
when
the gun
we were
you
playing-
used to get to the fucking gun because you're like, I've used this for way more time than I have.
I'm
my
gonna
new
keep
gun.
using this. It's just like when
Yeah,
we were,
and you're like, okay, well, why did I even want it?
Yeah, I remember the loot
well,
cave.
you know, we were in WoW. We would all like dungeon together, right? And then gear would always pop up, and everyone would need on everything and still lose.
Yeah.
On
Just
everything.
because I'm a troll, I'd like to.
But
need
that's
it.
like
But
that's
I
what
would
it-
trade it. I would trade it if I needed to. If it
like,
was,
that's-
if
that's
it was
a-
buying a pickup, I wouldn't need it.
Yeah,
That's the magic of Destiny. Like,
there's
those
like
games.
some things. There was some certain gear or whatever that was like Sylvan was grinding this dungeon specifically for it. And I think Connor would like, yeah, no, that works with my hunter. That works with my
Yeah,
hunter.
yeah.
And then needs it. And then he would always pick it up. And then Sylvan's sitting there going, I fucking hate you.
I want to kill
Well,
you.
that's the beauty of those games, right? Like it's like the grind is there, but like it's those stupid little stories or like anything you could do to cheese to make yourself better. Like you're like, okay, this is quicker. I gotta cheese. Like all those stories are what make those types of games super fun, right? And those memories, right?
Well,
Yeah.
and actually, I
You're,
remember.
you're like after Loot Cave got patched, everyone's like, where the fuck that? Like where's the new Loot Cave? Because you're trying to find stuff because you're like, this is the easiest way to get
Yeah.
purple gear so that I can finally do the fucking raid. Like it was just like
It was the number one. But
we
people,
honestly it was like 18 hours. Like I think 3 days straight. All we did was go take our Sparrow, and then back then you had to take all your engrams, and like your thing got full really quick, so you had to go back to
Yeah.
Earth, do the thing, and like fuck, I didn't get anything. And if you got a purple, you could go down to a blue. You're like, fuck that, I got a purple. Like
Yeah.
everyone was like, oh, I got a purple, and there was like, I turned out to be a fucking blue.
I distinctly just remember when it came to. Like,
I remember
getting
right at the
the-
start when he was picking our guns, and you and Connor had auto rifles, and I picked the Scout, and I'm like, yeah, the Scout looks cool, man. And then I started using it, and they're like, yeah, man, I'm getting so many kills with this auto rifle. I'm like, and we went into PvP. I'm like, why the fuck did I pick the Scout? And Danny's like, yeah, man.
And it turns out scouts turned into the meta.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, but like when it came to like when it came to games and getting, like for me at least, getting loot was the biggest thing.
Oh, it's all about.
It was such an indication.
It's like drugs.
Oh, it really is, because it's that.
It's an addiction.
It's that instant feeling of holy fuck. I am twice as much more powerful, and you know it's funny. And
You actually feel like a god too.
You do, and I
Yeah.
remember when I was playing the classic server for WoW. There was an item that dropped in the game, and it was an epic. And in vanilla, getting an epic before level 60 is like, what the fuck? You cheated. There's
Yeah.
no other way. There's a dungeon, and I am not a lucky man, as anyone would tell you with dice rolls and anything.
Yeah.
I have the worst luck possible. When it came to that, the item, like every boss had a percentage chance to drop a certain item. This item had a 0.4% chance to drop. It dropped for us. I needed it. I won it. And I just thought that, and I remember getting that dagger, equipping it, and just going, I have ascended these mortals among me because I am
exactly.
a god now.
Yeah, you feel like god
And I
tier.
sat there and I remember equipping it, and immediately I went to go kill some like mobs, and I'm like, holy fuck, my damage, because it added damage to my spells.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, my like my ticks of damage, instead of doing like 100, we're doing 120. And like that's it.
Isn't it like-
and all of a sudden I just sat there going, oh, I'm so strong.
What is it like? There isn't in the World of Warcraft. Isn't there like a hippogriff that's super rare, like ultra rare? Like it just came out in the like vanilla WoW. It was like a drop or something, and then
Not a
and then they
hippogriff. You couldn't get a hippogriff.
That's what it was. Like there was a hippogriff, and then like a X, and then it's so ultra rare.
It might have been during
Pet.
like,
Oh, he's saying the pet. It wouldn't have been.
It was a mount.
no.
if it was a
Yeah.
mount, a
could've
hippogriff
been
would
a
have been
hippogriff 'cause
would have been
hippogriff flew.
Wrath would have been
Yeah, it was-
Wrath of Lich King.
Yeah, it was like maybe it was that.
I thought you meant a vanilla. I'm like vanilla.
Okay, maybe it wasn't vanilla, but it was like a super
it was
rare
Wrath
hippogriff,
of Lich
and then
King.
it was like an ultra dropped, and then they stopped doing it, and then and then there was that sea monster thing that came out, and they're like, "That's how you get the hippogriff again." Like they all thought that was it.
Oh my god, what's the mount?
It was a huge
And I should
major
know-
event that
I
just
know,
came
and I
out.
should know the mount because I actually because I thought you meant vanilla. I'm like, there was
No.
nothing in vanilla for flying.
It was a flying mount. It was
Yeah, so
essentially
it
like
would have been Wrath.
it was
Or
like a
it would've been
griffin. It was like a griffin.
Wrath. It would have been Wrath. Well, the one thing actually is funny. When it comes to
I think it was Wrath. Now that I think
Yeah?
of it, yeah.
well, when it comes to rare items, like
But like people pay like thousands of dollars
Yeah.
for that
well, they
in
do.
real
Well,
life.
like from my own experience, I've only ever I've bought a lot of skins in like Dota, and I've bought a lot of.
You sold like a pudge hook for like
that's
$70
what I'm
bucks.
getting to. So actually, what's really cool, so I have bought a lot of things in video games just for skins. It's just like I like them. I want to support them.
The game,
I
yeah.
want to look good. And so I was playing. I've only gotten in Dota. I've gotten a lot of shit items because you get a lot of like basic, right? The game will only really benefit you.
Definitely.
And I got one item that was like epic or rare, which was or whatever. I don't know what even the quality was, but it was for a character. It was a flaming weapon, and his weapon was normally not flaming. So it was just like, oh, sweet. I remember I went to look one day. I'm like, I wonder because I wasn't playing anymore. I'm like, you know what? I kind of just want to get rid of it. Why? What's the point? Let's see if I can sell any items because the game had it you could sell for real money.
Oh wow.
And I looked at it and the hook, and I can't remember it specifically. It was anywhere between $70 to $90
Wow.
for something that I just got for random. I didn't pay for it. I got it randomly out of just a game for just playing the game. I remember selling it, and I remember like it sold in 2 hours.
Wow.
Immediately sold. I just remember sitting there going, "Holy shit! Like what? I made $70 off of that."
Isn't it like that's like Counter-Strike skins, right?
Yeah, it's kind of, or it's
like,
anything with skins, like hats and TF2. Like the fact that people can buy. I don't know about hats for real money, but I do know that like it's such a weird feeling going. I have literally grabbed money out of the nether.
That that's sort of
I
like
mean, at that point, you're
it's like it was like
thinking,
a RuneScape. People would just buy accounts.
Fuck,
Or
man.
my girlfriends.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's up to what, $11,000 now?
It passed 10,000 the other day. Yeah.
Okay, explain. I'll admit. I
Don't
know
go.
anything
It's
about Bitcoin.
that's a deep.
It's
That's a
confusing.
deep one.
All
Yeah.
you have to realize is that
It's
it's
a
a bunch
currency.
of code.
It's a code that you actually mine.
It's a bunch of code that gets traded, and people go, "Hey, there's some value." Like it only has value because people go, "Hey, there's value in this."
Yeah.
Right. And
Like
they
you
go,
would-
"Okay, you give me this set of code." Like each individual Bitcoin is very specific to that. It keeps track of where it's been and all that kind of stuff.
It's a massive calculation. Like it's your computers. Like you have.
That's why the
You have like
hard
eight.
drive-
That's why GPUs went
Yeah,
like,
it's
through
like
the
8
fucking
computers.
roof.
It's like 8 computers that it takes like to mine this formula, and then you actually like mine a coin out of it. That becomes like
Jesus
currency.
Christ.
Yeah, but it's worth 11,000.
Yeah, so that's why people are buying it. So like they're paying like $5,000, but then if they get one coin out of the 10 computers,
Shit.
they've gotten 11th grand, right?
Jesus. That's why I just remember
just
when I went to
imagine-
go build a computer and then pre-builds became cheaper because everyone's like, well, you know what? You're just spending way too much money.
Yeah, and the thing is like the way that this thing has skyrocketed is just fucking stupid. There were posts where like people were tossed like I tossed out my hard drive full of we're gonna end here soon. We tossed out our hard drive full of like 20 coins or something like that, or like I traded 40 coins for a pizza, and then like nowadays like people go back, it's like those 20 coins, that's like 200 grand right there.
Someone did that?
Someone tossed away a hard drive full of Bitcoin because they were worthless. They were like worth like cents. And he, I believe the last time I checked was like a couple of years ago, has been purchasing plots of landfill where this supposed hard drive would have been disposed of in. And he's searching through that landfill to find that hard drive.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
god.
Like that desperate. Well, it
Yeah.
makes sense.
He must have money if he's gonna
He
do
would have
that.
wasted way more than 200 grand buying landfills.
I mean, it must have been like a couple hundred coins or something like that in there. I don't know.
Oh,
Whatever.
that's
All
like
right.
the guy, that poor sucker
Yeah,
who invested in
that's poor.
Apple and then sold his stock.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
We're gonna call it here because we're tired now.
absolutely, we're old.
Yeah. It's bedtime. I'm actually probably just gonna drink a little bit more and play more video games. But you know
I
what?
think that's what we're all gonna do. Let's be honest.
Yeah. That's what we're all gonna do. Thanks for joining us. This one's been a little bit extra long here. Yeah.
Stay classy, Canada.
Have a good night.